Welcome to Listen to Another Show. I'm Mel Fascist Pig.
And I'm Reverend Muffington.
I'm Nick Weir.
And tonight marks our 5th year on YouTube and the other social media bullshit. So, little clappy clappy. So happy 5 years to us. We have got a pretty nice show. It's lit up. It's going to be spooky season time. So our solo artist tonight has got a spooky little synth set. Say that 10 times fast. But right now, it's been about a year since we've seen him. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Jimmy. Jimmy.
How y'all doing today?
Hey.
Decent enough.
That's good, that's good. I ain't gonna be alone. I gotta get back to family I like sometimes I don't, but I gotta get back. Anybody in here ever been to a nude beach? None of y'all never ventured off? I went one time, I was visiting Miami with my girlfriend, and I said, let's do something different, let's do something kinky, do something fun. And so we ventured off down to this place called Hallover Beach, which is a nude beach, like probably 10 minutes from South Beach, Miami. And when you get down there, you kind of have an idea what you think a nude beach may look like, and it was not that. You get out there and you walk around, it's a bunch of elderly, like fat people just laying out on the beach and just minding their business. It's actually very peaceful. They're out there just reading books and just tanning, just old people tanning. And so we get out there and we get our little section, and I'm still just people watching. That's my favorite thing to do, is watch people and old naked people at this moment. And you can't help but to start dick watching, right? Now you're out here just you dick watching, and you're trying to compare dicks and just and it was this one guy, and you can tell he had to be slow because he had a Walkman. And I haven't seen a Walkman in forever. He had the headset, it was connected to the damn Walkman. He was butt ass naked, and his dick was humongous. And this is how I really know he was slow. The only thing that's separating the nude beach from the regular beach is a sign that says, "Pass this line. This is, you're gonna be naked over here." He was standing on that line, facing the regular beach with the kids, with his dick out, and I was like, "Okay, this is slow. He kind of slow." But anyway, so I'm sitting there, and I'm still got my clothes on. Me and my girl, we still clothed. So now I'm trying to get the courage to get up and make my debut. I want to walk to the beach with my dick out. I'm a grower, not a shower, right? So I need a little motivation to get my shit on medium, right? I'm usually at a 2, but I needed to be at a 5 to get comfortably to walk to that water. So I asked my girl, I said, what really gets me aroused is I like my nipples sucked. So I said, baby, I need you to play with my nipples a little bit so I can get a respectful ding-a-ling, so I can walk to the water. And so she did that, and I make my debut. I walk to the water. I get in the water. The water is cold. So you know what happens when the water gets really cold, and my shit shrunk up really fast. And now I'm stuck in the water, right? Now I can't come back out the water with my dick on cold. So my girl is still on the beach chilling, and I had to wave up and say, hey, I need some help. Like, I need you to come help me get up out this water. I need my nipples sucked again. And so women, they slow. Like, they don't move pretty fast at all. And so she's taking her pretty good time, and by the time before she makes it to the water, a guy walks up, starts talking to her, right? It's a shiny black man. It ain't that many black people on this beach, too. It just so happened when she get to walking, here come a shiny black man. He had to be like 60 years old, swear to God. But he was in shape. He was naked, had a fanny pack, dick was out, and his dick wasn't cold, right? He had he wasn't he was ashore. He wasn't no grow. His shit was already ready. And now he's having a conversation with my girlfriend, and I'm stuck in the water on cold, and they're far away, so I can't really. I don't know what's being said, right? I don't know what's being talked about, but I know his dick is out, and so I'm sitting in this water and I'm watching his dick to make sure it ain't moving any. Cause if it's moving, I know where this conversation is going. And so long story short, she never made it to the water, right? I'm mad. I done stormed out the water, dick on cold. Went back to our section, got my clothes on, left the fucking beach. Cause I can't have. Just think if his dick would have moved, and now I gotta get up and confront this man butt naked. You know, we got our fucking dicks out. And like one thing about me, when I get to wrestling and get to fighting, my dick get hard. So I can't be out there fighting this naked man with a hard dick at the nude beach. That would have been a bad situation. So that was my first experience at a nude beach. My second, I'm gonna tell this quick story and I got it. My second time at a nude beach, we tried it again. We was in California, and this time it was going well. It was going pretty good. We was out there by ourselves. It was like a hot spring. We was out there by ourselves, and well, I thought we was. And a Russian guy comes from behind the rocks on the other side of this little park we was at, and he was with other women. But he started making his way over to us. I'm like, all right, here we go again. But this time he comes and he talks to me, right? And we're having a conversation. I'm butt naked. I'm in the water. He butt naked. He in the water. And we having, like, he's a safe heterosexual distance away from, like, it's comfortable. Like, I can talk to you, but you know, over there. So in mid-conversation, he did something that scared the living shit out of me. He went underwater. He just went underwater for too long, and I didn't know where he was going. And I just assumed that he was about to come over here and tickle my balls, because we like, you know, we had everybody weird out here. You don't know what's going on. And so that was the scariest moment of my life, and I'd never go back to a nude beach. So that's my advice for y'all. Do not go to a nude beach, because it's never a good time. But that's my time, y'all.
It's good to see you, man.
I won't be going to a nude beach either, dude.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a nude beach?
No.
Me neither.
I don't think I've tried it.
Oh shit, my phone is
Been
doing
in the massager parlor.
a massager parlor?
Pala massager.
Yeah, but like that was one of those things where you walked out though. You didn't actually go the whole deal, right?
I was butt ass naked
Oh,
with a
really?
little towel, but no, there was no happy endings.
I've never been to a nude beach, but I've had so many kidney stones. I've been to the hospital so many times and showed my dick to rooms full of people. Like, I have no dick trauma, whether I'm showing or growing or otherwise. Dude, like the last time I was at the hospital, I was in the ER and they're like, there's like literally like wall-to-wall people around. Like, I had like, my dick was like coming off or something.
Oh god.
And I was fine. Like, I was sitting there, I was flaccid and everything. I had no idea, you know, being a thumb and all. And then like the very last person to come in was this fucking Asian chick, doctor, hot as fuck, and she started to going towards it, and I had to cut her off. I was like, no, because man, I knew as soon, because I could feel it. Like, as soon as she was coming in the room, I was like, she's gonna touch my dick, she's gonna touch my dick, and I could feel the blood flowing.
Oh man.
Dude, no, man, I knew I was gonna be there with a fucking monolith, man. There was no fucking way.
So you had to stop her from giving you the boner?
No, well, I didn't stop her as much as like, as I'm telling you, I was kind of like went into move things around myself, and so she kind of backed off, and I was like, well, maybe I shouldn't have moved things around myself, and right? But also, you know, I mean, I knew I was gonna get fucking hard as a rock if she touched it. It was just gonna happen. It was that.
What's wrong with that? Because everybody else was in the room, or was it just you and her?
Well, yeah, man. I mean, it wasn't uncomfortable with my dick out when I was just dick out, but like I'm sitting there with a full mask. That's different, man. Like,
that's hilarious.
now I'm embarrassed. Now my cheeks are red.
Kidney stone, Jimmy?
Nah, I ain't never had no kidney
Oh,
stone.
fuck kidney stones.
I don't know what that's like.
Dude, I've got stories upon stories. This is not about me. This is about Jimmy. Jimmy, it's been a year since you've been on, man. How have you been? What have you been doing with your life?
Man, I've been busy, man. It's working. It's
Alright,
working and working and working. Yeah.
I see it online a little bit. I
Yeah.
just don't pay that much attention to it right now.
Yeah.
Nick's in love.
Well, it isn't just that. It's more like my work, dude. More than anything.
Nick's in love with his work.
I'm working a lot, but
I got a fucking new position at the dildo factory, and every time I come home,
Head
man,
dildo inspector.
I'm
Nice.
fucking like, dude, I'm. Well, you know, it's fucked up. Like I already told you guys previous about the slight racism that goes on. at
Yeah, when you found the
dildo
white
factory.
people bathroom.
Are you
Okay.
really working at dildo factory?
Yeah, so the thing is, I work in the warehouse with all the Mexicans. So there's 60 Hispanics there. Only 2 are from Mexico, but they're considered the Mexican team, right? Like when I got hired, it was really weird because like I got olive skin, so they didn't know where to put me. Almost like they would like dude lift it up and then had like a little chart with all the different skin tones. It was like I'm just gonna put you in with all the Mexicans, you know. So he puts me in with all the Hispanics.
He'll
And
fit
so
in good over here.
I've been there for about 4 years, like, and then like when the Mexican bathroom breaks down, I've got to sneak into the white bathroom, and the white bathroom is fantastic. There's air conditioning. First of all, where I work, there's no air conditioning, so I have to sneak into the white area, and you open up the door, and you can feel just the pressure change, and you can feel all the air conditioning blow out. You're like,
The office
yeah,
people.
yeah, like just your sweat and the AC hit to combine, you shiver. You're like, woo! And you walk in and you sneak in because you can't be seen going to the white bathroom because they catch you going in like, what are you doing down here? I'm like, but anyway, so like,
our bathroom's broken.
oh, it's so great. So
Out back.
they came to me about a month ago and asked me if I wanted this new position. I was like, well, you know, it's like, where is it? And they told me it was down in the white area. It's like, fuck yeah. Be able to use the white bathroom? Fuck yeah. So I go down there and they orientate me and everything, and then they give me, I've been there 4 years. They will never let you have the password to the Wi-Fi to the dildo factory. They gave me the dildo factory password.
Oh.
It's dildo.
Moving on up.
Yeah. So I got the dildo factory password, and then I'm walking by the white bathroom, and I'm like, oh my God, there it is. I could use it because the white bathroom compared to the Mexican bathroom, you got 3 urinals and 3 stalls. And basically, like, it's a flood in there every time you go in there. Why is it always water in there? I don't know, but it's just like in the roaches. Holy shit, and they're aggressive. Violently, you're sitting there shitting.
Violently
aggressive.
roaches.
You're shitting there with your pants around your ankles. You're vulnerable. Next thing you know, you're being ganged by 3 fucking roaches, dude.
Yep.
No. So anyway, I'm walking, and then they walk me at the end of the white area into this room, and I was like, I've never seen this room before. I've seen the door, but I never knew what was beyond the door. So we open up the
red door.
We
Don't go
open-
in on the
it
red
is-
door.
It is a red door. So we walk through the red door, and then all of a sudden the vacuum just all of a sudden hits, and I'm pushed back, and there's no more air conditioner, and I'm looking around, and it's me and 3 other olive dupes, and I was like, what kind of Nazi concentration is this? These
Replacement.
3 fucking olive dudes have been here for all this time, and I'm not known, and now one olive dude is leaving. He's going back to his own country. They need a new olive dude. So
It's an Alibaba.
yeah, and they're all like, it's one of us, and I'm sitting there going, what the fuck? So yeah, so it's me and 3 other olive dudes in the heat, and they're like, well, yeah, but you get to use the white bathroom. I was like, yeah. So there's perks to the job.
But still.
But I lost my white privilege card.
Did
I
you
thought
get paid more, or you just get to use the bathroom?
it is a quote-unquote lateral move, from what I understand.
Oh.
It's a new position.
The dildo factory.
Not a promotion. I can only get, but I could use the white bathroom, and I got the Wi-Fi. You know how much fucking data I'm saving using the
Oh,
fucking,
that
and I
is-
can, like in the warehouse,
perks.
man, you can't even get a signal. I have to go outside and walk 10 feet away from the building just to get a signal. Like they have some kind of like
Anti-signal.
iron dome up there or some shit like that. Yeah, so I don't know. That's me. Hello.
Yeah, I ain't know we had a dildo factory. That's
All kinds, man.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's
It's
crazy.
amazing. I've fucked up thousands and thousands of dollars of dildos. It's insane. Now I'm the dildo inspector, so like
Nice.
use dildo. So like if you had a dildo and you needed to return the dildo, the dildo comes from the truck, off the back of the truck to me, and then I have to inspect the dildo, whether it's an A, B, or C dildo. So like an A dildo, that could be like sent straight back to the store. I just will clean the dildo and send it back. And then if it was a B dildo, it's like a scratch and dent.
Oh,
So that's like your scratch and dent dildo. It's cheaper, probably get it for half off, you know. But then there's the C dildo, and dude, I opened up a box of dildos one time, and I was retching. I mean,
They just-
retching.
they just, like,
How do
literally
you
leave
get
the
this?
groceries
How do
in
you
there?
get this job? Like I'm still trying to. I thought it was. I thought you.
I got it through my whore of an ex-girlfriend, so you should hit her up, and she could probably hit you.
Yeah, I ain't gonna laugh for the first 2 minutes. No, I thought he was joking. I'm like, does he really work at a?
Nah,
Does anybody
it's not
anybody else
really,
verify that he works at a dildo factory? Anybody else know that? Nobody knows that. I don't. What's the name of this factory?
It's not really a dildo.
Electronic Express.
What? I've gone 5 years without not saying where I fucking work.
Oh, okay. I was like,
It's refrigerators.
Yeah.
It's not real.
okay.
No, it's refrigerators. But I did open up a refrigerator and start fucking puking, man.
Yeah.
I don't
So
know
they
what the fuck let
they
die in
sent
that
you one that where somebody didn't take their fucking groceries out of it?
No, they let it rot in there and then took it out.
Okay,
before
so they
sent
still had
it.
to smell.
Dude, I opened up, and then that's when I hotboxed the THCP. So I was already like nauseated in a bad place, and probably would not have puked if I wouldn't have not opened up that fridge. Oh, that was horrible. But anyway, anything fucked up to you? Got any like horrible stories? Any murderous baby mamas or?
Nothing I can talk about legally.
Oh.
Yeah.
Statute of limitations hasn't passed
Yeah.
yet.
No, everything.
Jimmy, I'm so
Everything's
glad that you came out. It's good to see you. You're looking good anyway.
I appreciate it.
Fuck yeah, man.
Appreciate it.
I'm glad you're in Harvard.
Man, listen. Nobody believes that I went to Harvard, and I hate that. Like, I hate that nobody even gives me a shot.
I don't.
Hey,
shoot,
nobody-
why would you not
I
be
didn't
able to go
doubt
to
it.
Harvard?
Nobody, like, most people just look in like, yeah, that's not a real thing. Like, just a cool hat. I hate that shit. I'm gonna go to Harvard one day.
Okay.
Like, yeah, that's my goal. That's my goal. That's my goal.
I think you will, dude.
Yeah.
Well, hey, come and do one of our Wednesday shows where we just kind of sit down and bullshit for a couple hours, man. It's laid back. It'd be good to hang out with you and talk with you for a couple
I can
hours.
do that. I like talking.
Okay, dude.
I like
OG
talking.
podcast.
I've got a couple in November.
November. I mean, peak season here. You're gonna have to catch me January, February.
Okay.
I work for the post office, so
Oh shit.
yeah, I'm a mailman. So this is worst time of year.
What's up, bud?
Sam.
Delivering tons of mail.
Yeah,
All right.
Packages and mail. Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up one more time for Jimmy. Jimmy. All right.
We love you, buddy.
All right. Oh, thank you, brother. Fuck yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Mr. Chris Raves.
Hey, thank you. So happy to be here, guys. Thanks for having me.
Woo.
Oh, let's have some fun. So everybody is hotboxing and smoking and drinking in here. I'm actually sober. I know I look like if the Tiger King sold booger sugar, but I haven't drank since when did I quit doing cocaine? 2018. That's when I quit drinking. And I quit smoking weed earlier this year because I thought that it would help my stage presence, my performance, my comedy writing. So if nobody laughs, I'm probably going to do fentanyl with a hooker after this. Yeah. So just keep that in mind. You could save 2 lives tonight. Yeah. Just remember. Yeah, my name is Christopher Reeves. I go by Chris Raves because I don't like to have to explain to everybody right off the bat that, yes, I am the actor that played Superman in the 80s. The stem cells worked. Yeah, we should be funding that. No, I don't have a lot in common with the actor Christopher Reeve. He fell off of a horse, broke his neck, couldn't feel anything, so he had to blow through a straw to get around in his wheelchair. And after my wife left me, I couldn't feel anything unless I did a bunch of blow through a straw. So I guess we're kind of similar in that aspect, in a way. But yeah, I'm looking for a wife. So if anybody knows any married women who like to cheat, you can send them my way. I'm also trying to be a dad. I'm trying to convince my side chick to go off birth control. She's got this copper IUD, right? You guys heard of these? There's like the plastic ones that give you breast cancer, and then there's the copper ones that are supposed to be more healthy, more expensive. But she had to get it replaced 3 times because a meth head kept stealing it. Yeah, I said, you should stop dating him. Come on, 2 and 2. Yeah, I quit smoking weed the day before I got hired to work at one of these legal leaf dispensaries. We sell the THCA, which is just regular THC that we get from Canada. It just kept its accent. Yeah. Hey, what you smoking over there, bud? Oh, not that THCA. Boy, you better be careful. I get you hired to moose on a goose. You'll be sorry. And we sell the Delta 8. Yeah, people give that a hard time, but that was the THC that killed Osama bin Laden. You guys remember 2012. And we got the sex honey. You guys tried this stuff? The royal honey. It's supposed to make you last longer, stay harder, shoot further. I tried it, just made her really sticky and pulled out my pubes. I don't. Well, it tasted delicious, though. Good flavor. Any fans of country rap in here? That's right. Not a one. Not a single one. I think it should be called All Rhymes Matter. I just think, I don't understand why there's no famous female country rappers as much as both of them love singing about killing men, right? How come there's no Goodbye Earl sweatshirt? We don't have one of those. There's no country songs about relationships that worked out. Did you ever notice that? Even Johnny Cash, he's singing a duet with his wife on stage like, I'm going to Jackson. I'm going to screw a whore. She's like, you go to Jackson. I just want to hear like one song where they made it work, like Save a Divorce, Ride to Counseling. Why don't we have one of those? If Christopher Reeve had ridden a cowboy instead, he'd probably still be here, if you think about it. Anyway, you guys have been great. That's my time. I'm Chris. Thank you so much.
All right.
Right after this, Chris Reeves.
Oh, sir.
Thank
How you been, man?
I've been fantastic, Life's a roller coaster, but right now I'm on a loop-de-loop.
All right.
Are you still running your mic at Pressure?
Yep, every Thursday night at 9 p.m. at Pressure Dab Bar, 2190 Nolensville Pike by the fairgrounds. If y'all want to come out, it's free, and it's a good time. You should come out.
It's by the fairgrounds?
Yeah, it's near the fairgrounds, right by the 440 exit, next to the red bicycle.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Do you have any horror stories, any Halloween-inspired stories?
Well,
That's evil right there.
I don't
Glad to
think
hear
that
good.
I don't think that it's a fun story or a happy story to tell, but
It's an interesting story.
no, it's just really, really sad. I don't want to bum y'all out.
I got enough sad shit happening
It's
all
like-
the time. Fuck that.
It's like if P.S. I Love You was a thriller. Like, it's not good. No. But, I was married for 3 years. That was pretty
That's
horrific.
all right.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's
You
pretty
got out good. Only 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only 3 years. You got out good.
Yeah, it was pretty rough for me, but you should see the other guy.
Oh.
Yeah. Got her.
Yeah. I don't know. I've got a few horror stories. I do want to get liquored up before I tell a couple.
Ain't
though.
been a shot yet.
Well, I mean, it's not many drinkers here, so I think
You're using excuses?
No, I'm not using excuse at all. I'm planning on drinking. I got the anniversary bottle of Crown.
You're supposed to already have half that down. It's the 5th year anniversary.
Listen, you used to be my partner in crime when it came to doing all the horrible things that we
Although
do.
have 3
Those days are
Now there are
gone.
2 so no, it's not gone. You can have a chaperone. You can have someone come out.
You
How
can
you
have
feel?
a
Invite your wife.
you can have a chaperone.
Yeah, chaperone.
HOTDOGS,
All
right?
So
She's,
no one's here drinking. So it's just me.
Anti-DMP.
Yeah, but, I don't know why. We haven't done
Cheers.
anything to her. So, boop. To 5 years. So,
Congratulations.
thank you. Nick, have you have any kind of horror stories? Any scary things happen in your life? See any ghosts or ghouls or goblins?
Oh, I got one of those stories. If you don't.
Please go with the ghost story.
So when I was like,
Hear yours.
yeah, no one wants to hear what you have to say, Nick.
Exactly.
They're,
There you go.
that's why they're paying me to be here. No, when I was a kid, like 14 years old, me and my friends used to ride bikes around the neighborhood and stuff. And there was this house at the end of this long driveway that ran right next to a cemetery. And at the end of the driveway was this big old abandoned house. And it was like a well house. So there was like a well, there's like a barn behind it. And then it's just a big field. It was the creepiest, spookiest place. And I loved it. I loved that kind of stuff, you know, going into abandoned buildings and nursing homes and
Yeah, I've done it before.
yeah. So we decided, yeah, we're going to go there. And we were just 14-year-old kids walking around the house. There's like kids' drawings on the doors, and it's like Tommy's room, you know?
Oh.
And it's like ripped and stained, and all the windows are busted out. We were walking around just like teasing each other and stuff. There's 4 of us. And we were upstairs, and we walked out of this room, and all of a sudden the door slammed behind us. And there was no wind or anything.
Ouch.
And I was terrified, and I kept on hearing this voice that was like, "Get out of there, get out of there."
That's when you
Get
run.
out of there. And we fucking ran. Yeah. We hauled ass, and we never went back there again. And then like, I think like 6 months later, some kids burned it down.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So R.I.P.
Little
Ghost
fucking
house.
arsonist.
Every abandoned place eventually gets burned down, whether it's
Yes.
accidentally or on purpose. But like, man, did y'all ever hear about the world's largest tree house that used to be here in Tennessee, but then someone burned it down? There were so many like videos. Like I used to watch Adam the Woo, another YouTuber, and he would go to crazy abandoned places, and then like he
It's
went to
like
this
in
place.
East Tennessee.
It was in
Like,
East
it was like
Tennessee.
a park.
It wasn't a
Tree
park. It
house,
was. It
whatever.
started as a guy who was I guess he was a preacher. He built this tree house church, and then just was adding on to it, and adding on to it to where it wasn't just one tree. Now it was between 2 trees and 3 trees, and then like this tree house became like this tree mansion. But there's no codes or anything. It was just one crazy room.
Fucking Willy Wonka's show.
It was like the Winchester House on meth. But you would walk in, and there would be like this big, beautiful wood room where they would have, you know, church in with all the pews and the altar and everything there. And then they would have all these other little offshoot rooms. And there was even like a belfry where there was like a bell tower. It was just really just crazy, but then eventually burned down. But early in DNP, I was wanting to actually do an episode there. I was like actually like sneaking there and like, you know, like doing a couple hours and then fucking off. But yeah, when I was a kid, man, I mean, that was really one of the greatest places to do. It's like, you know,
Well, you got the Bell Witch up there towards like Adams, Tennessee that people go
Yeah,
to.
that's a great spot. Wait, how did you walk into this tree house? Was there a ladder or like
no,
an
I never went.
elevator?
I never went.
Even the congregation, though, like
Well, so there was many
They were
ladders
old ladies.
going up into it, and actually a lot of it was
Mega
very.
church
It was very.
in a bunch of trees.
It was crazy, and it was very precarious too. Because I mean, some of it you would think if you were elderly, there's no way
Yeah.
like grandma and grandpa could get up in there. But
Yeah.
I mean, but it was very neat. Like if you're like 15 and got a bag of weed on you, dude, it's like it was.
Oh, it'd be kinda cool.
Yeah.
It's better than sitting on a hay bale, big round bale. We used to get high on round bales.
Yeah, Columbia,
Just
yeah.
be like in a
Like-
tree.
The woods.
I spent 4 years in Columbia. I did my time.
It is,
Yeah. I think everyone should spend a little time in Columbia, especially around Mule Day. Like that's an experience.
The Mule Day Parade. That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up history.
So Sloan, have you had any type of horror stories, any ghost stories?
We used to. Since I got a video camera, we would go out and try to. We had like a Three Nuns Bridge. There was this one church that was supposed to be haunted. We would go videotape the shit. We never got anything except for every once in a while we'd play back and see orbs. But we never actually
that's
had
a
any.
common thing. Yeah, it's kind
It
of.
could have just been fucking dust reflection, you
right.
know. And
Could
so
be-
not really. The only thing that we took these two chicks one time, me and another guy, and we went to one of these places. What wasn't going on? So like when they were walking this way, I like smacked the wall as hard as I could and made one of the girls piss themselves, and then had to apologize the whole rest of the time while we're
Well, you
leaving.
donkey punched her. Yeah, you should apologize.
And
No,
y'all
I
had-
smacked the wall. I didn't donkey punch.
Oh, okay. I thought you donkey punched
No,
her.
no. I didn't. It scared the shit out of me because I smacked the wall. That was
I
it.
thought
Did
you
y'all
smacked
drive there? Did you have a towel to put down on the ride back?
Just walked.
Just let it dry out.
Because you had to like park on the side of the road, walk through somebody's field, like cross barbed wire to get to this like fucking abandoned house, you know. But
Yeah.
as far as I know, it's still there. I don't fucking. This is when last we went was with high school. We're like 17 years old, so.
I remember doing that in Columbia. A lot of going through people's properties, going through a lot of barbed wire, a lot of looking for mushrooms and cow fields and stuff. It was just Columbia was just a really weird time.
Just kids being kids.
Yeah, it's like when you don't
The
have
internet.
shit to do. It's pre-internet.
Yeah,
If
pre-internet.
you don't have anything to do, next thing you know, you find yourself in a fucking cow field.
Yeah.
You know, just,
It's not. I mean, it's safer than the 50s. They were like poking dead bodies by the creek and stuff.
I've had buddies find dead bodies by the creek.
Yeah.
There's been dead bodies washed up in the Duck River. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
There's more bodies floating in the water as we speak than you think.
Oh, dude, there's so
Ridiculous.
Many, so
When
many
that one kid died, the kid from Purdue, they found like 8 bodies before they found his. And they just like, it's just another bum, another bum. We finally got the kid. Like these whole other 8 bodies didn't fucking matter.
Yeah. Oh,
Like there's no investigation whatsoever. Just,
we finally found one with money.
this one's mama's crying. You got to have a mama crying somewhere.
I think there's probably a lot of dead homeless around Nashville that people don't know about.
They're unaccounted for.
Well, okay, so
You know what I mean?
I've not told this story, and now since we're in it, so
They killed homeless people.
So when I got,
I'm
not
joking.
me,
It's confession.
so you threw me up. Oh, okay, so coming home from back to work on a lunch break, just the split second in my peripheral, I see this homeless person get nailed in the fucking other lane by this white van.
Ouch.
And he's like rolling and flying, and then like by the time he lands, he's completely out of all of his clothes except for his pants, which are just at his ankles, but pretty much had come out of everything to where he's just this lump of flesh in the fucking street, and he's split up the middle. There's this red blood slice where he's literally just, when it hit him, he must have burst like a balloon, and he just split up the middle.
Oh, dear God.
There
dude.
was nothing like hanging out, but like he was done. I mean, he wasn't breathing, and I was sitting there like the traffic was stopped for a second. And then, like, I kind of came to when other people were driving around me and everyone else and driving around the body, and they were just trying to get back to work. It's like all of a sudden people were too inconvenienced to, like, just take a minute to make sure that the dude was, like, okay. And then once people started moving and like, traffic started up again. Like, oh, it's a homeless dude. I got to get back to work. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So, like, I'm like, should I call somebody? Should I take pictures? Should I do anything? And then I look over, and there's some people over who are on the phone, and obviously, so I was like, all right, well, fuck it, I'm going to work too. So I go to work, and I get to work, and as soon as I clock in, I was like, hey, man, and I tell my supervisor what had happened. I was like, I need to go. I just saw some fucked up shit. I need to go. Now, I hadn't even, not even been 5 minutes had passed since this dude's a lump in the floor in the street. So I come back, and I'm expecting traffic to be now tied up because dude is nothing. Traffic is fine, and I get closer and closer, and then it's the where Tampa meets Harding Place, and nothing. I get there, and the only thing that remains is just one of the shoes to where he had been knocked out of all of his clothing essentially, but one shoe remained. And then I'm like, well,
And on what time frame?
this is not
like
lunch.
a 15-minute time
within,
frame?
like,
So
3
this has
hours.
been about 10 minutes. It was 5 minutes to get to work. I clock in, so I got to fuck off. 5 minutes later to get back. I mean, literally been 10, 12 minutes. He's gone. There's no crime scene. There's no anything. And then I'm just like, well, what the fuck just happened? I mean, it was just like, did he just literally just get scraped off the road? Is he on the side of the road right now still even?
Jeez.
It was like, what happened to him? It was like the only thing that was left was this one shoe. That was the only thing that was left. And then, like, I got home and I sat there and just kind of thought about it. It was just like, if it was anything else, it was any other accident, there'd be all kinds of ambulances and sirens, and there would be just the time it would take for the first responders to get there. Because there would be several people responding, several people taking care of it. I mean, it would still be a mess. It would be backed up, especially Harding Place at lunchtime. In Nashville, it's like one of the busiest roads on 12, at 12.
So I assume whoever hit him just kept going.
They stopped. And as far as I know, as when I started, they were still stopped in the middle of the road, but was the only vehicle stopped. And quite frankly, I think once anybody who ever saw it, like myself, saw it, once all the witnesses gone, they were probably like, fuck it, I'm gone too. Because there was nobody left, and there was nothing but the stain where he was at and a single shoe. Like, they literally just dragged him off the side of the road and went on with their day.
In like 15 minutes.
Less.
Damn.
And it was just like, well, what did they just take him to the fucking morgue? Did they take him to the hospital over here? Is he literally in the fucking ditch just there? I mean, it was just the weirdest thing I have ever seen in my fucking life. It was crazy.
That's fresh meat.
Yeah. I mean, that's a horror story for everyone that had to see it, but it's kind of a success story for T-Dot.
I guess.
I mean,
if they were,
They're not that efficient.
that's some solid response
Somebody
time.
got some meat.
Yeah. Maybe.
They got some meat.
all right. Well, Chris, man, I appreciate you coming out and spending some time with us.
Thank you
man.
for having me.
Yeah. Come out and do our Wednesday show, man. Sit down, spend a couple hours, and actually, talk with us.
Yeah, definitely.
Fuck yeah.
Be
dude.
just let me
seduced
know.
by DNP.
No. All right, man. Thank you for coming
Appreciate
out.
y'all.
Fuck yeah, dude. All right,
Have a good one.
ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Ralphie boy. We got Ralphie Rihanna.
Guys, how we doing? I'm actually good news. I'm doing like a death metal project right now. I'm calling it One Shoe Remains. Yeah, I love it though. It's a great time. But yeah, I don't know how you guys feel about like edibles. I it's a real mixed bag because either they just like do not work, or I get like sleepy, or I'm just like hanging on to the earth. I cannot. It's like a belt loop. I need like a middle, or like like a windshield wiper when it's like it's either not enough or just like, and it's like, and like, or I'm just like blinded and I'm like, all right, it's a problem. I need like a dial. I need like those like fancy light switches that can like you just slide them up. That's what I need my windshield wipers to be, or like, yeah. I just figured that out now. That was a realization. I'm gonna go invent that. All right. I do love weed, but I try to not take it too seriously. Like I have my friends that are like real snobby stoners, like pot sommeliers, you could say. Like I'll pass my buddy the blunt, and he's just like hybrid. Like nobody's asking you for like a breakdown of this, but like I gotta tell him like dude, that's Delta 8 from Quicksack, man. Like that's not. He's, I could have sworn that was top shelf. Like yeah, it was technically in between kratom and Chinese dick pills. Yeah, my friend, I'm the friend, but it's fine. Weed's got me into weed has got me into trouble before. I did get arrested for selling weed. And it was in California of all places. You think they would have just been cool there? No, but in California, jail and prisons, like it is a real like voluntary segregation. It's not just in the movies. It's like I was with like the white guys and like, but I was having lunch with my Mexican friend, and the like leader of the white guys comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, yeah, the leader, yeah, but it's real. It's true. Like they call them cars. They call them key holders. This is real gang talk for you guys, prison talk. But no, the key holder comes to me and he's like, "Hey, you can have lunch with him, but you can't share food." That didn't make any sense to me. Like, dude, I saw you eating his ass in the shower this morning. Like, you can't share food. What are we talking about? You were tossing his taco salad. That poor little Mexican boy. Oh, man. That is my friend. But now, I got out of there. I'm doing all right now. But I have a girlfriend, and she keeps calling my cat gay, which is fucked up, because, like, he is. He is, but we don't have to discuss that. Like, let's just let him be his own person. We don't need to. I feel like she's being derogatory when she says it. Like, it's just like that's like she's like looking at me like a childless cat lady. Like, I'm just me and my boy. Like, we're just hanging out, like Brokeback Mountain style, watching, hanging out. All right, I didn't need to make it weird, guys. I didn't need to make it weird. Just me and my cat. He is his own person. But I'm not. All right, we'll move on. We'll move on. I'm not watching porn. I'm sober from porn right now, so that's okay. Well, it's like 45 days, so it's longer than my Duolingo streak. But no, it's California sober though. I'm still looking at the trans stuff. What are we gonna do? But if you guys like in a load of cum, like talking about porn, in a load of cum, there's like a bunch of endorphins. And like when you like shoot a load, it's a bunch of endorphins, like feel good chemicals. So there's been studies that have shown that women that are consistently nutted in, when they break up, they have like depression and withdrawal symptoms. It's like real scientific research. Yeah, it's crazy. It was wild. So like when I learned this information, it clicked in my head why I was so devastated when my uncle moved out growing up. Oh man. It's not good. All right, guys. That's it for me. I'm Ralph. Hey. On that note, I love you guys so much.
All right. Ralphie.
What's up, buddy? That was great.
How you been, man?
Good. Just hanging out.
So how do you know your cat's gay? You've seen him actually have sex with another male cat?
No, it's more just
Proof.
we don't have proof, but it's like
Does
you
it
know
purr
people.
differently?
Dude,
You go,
it's
"Meow."
like again, it's like now. I swear, it's like I didn't notice it, and then my girlfriend just was like, she's like, he's gay, and I'm like, no, like just in denial, and like I see little things. It's just like his meow. It's just a little like got the like gay lisp to it somehow. Like I can't do an impression of it, but it's like if you heard it, you would be like, dude, he's gay. It's fine, like, but it is what it is. But it's like,
Yeah.
because I didn't.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I had a gay cat when I was in high school. I didn't even know my cat was gay. He was having seizures and everything. And we took him to the vet. He had feline HIV.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a real disability. Yeah.
Yeah, he had real AIDS. It was like, and
Wow.
This was
Yeah,
like,
there's a cat strain.
this was like 1984.
And only the gay cats get AIDS.
And it was like a year before we just figured out what AIDS were. It was just like, they still thought that you got AIDS from green monkeys and fucking toilet seats, and then my cats got AIDS. Holy fucking shit.
So was that basically what Fauci told y'all back then too?
The real Anthony Fauci.
It's crazy.
Little RFK. plug.
Now you get AIDS and you just get a shot. It's not even a big deal. It's like,
I still think I'd
That's what they say, dude. They talk
still
about
think
this
so.
non-detectable.
This shot don't work.
I'd rather
I'm
get AIDS
sorry.
than herpes.
That's a long term, friend.
Yeah.
You
We're
know,
gonna be friends forever.
I feel like it's like there's like a marker in your blood or something though when you're like undetectable. Doesn't that seem weird?
Got some of that Jesus blood in you.
I
Yeah,
haven't
blood.
looked into this enough, and now that I'm like thinking about, because like, isn't that what they say now, where it's like you can take medicine and you're undetectable, and it apparently doesn't affect you?
Well, they even have a preventative now. They have that PrEP stuff that is a preventative. For
Yeah, you
people.
take it before you get
Yeah.
AIDS, they say. It's like, make sure you
Supposedly.
take it before you get
Yeah.
AIDS.
Yeah, I get those ads on my YouTube because my cat's been watching it.
Yep.
Oh.
When nobody's around. Wait till you look, you got money missing from your bank account. He's ordering the pills.
Popper's just going crazy. No.
I'm back. I'm back, baby.
Dude. Yeah.
Do you drink? Do you want a shot?
Yeah, let's do a shot.
Shut
Dude.
So were you really in
Drink
like,
with Ralph,
jail or
please.
prison?
Oh yeah, I really was just being a dumbass, like 18-year-old. I got two arrests, just like buying a bunch of weed, like 2 ounces at a time.
How old
trying
were
to.
you when you got popped?
The
18?
first time I had been 18 for a grand total of 3 months.
Oh,
Wow.
man. You should have done
Young,
it before
dude.
18.
Right. It was. I had been selling for like a couple of years, but it was just really. It was like I want to smoke weed and do it for free.
Exactly.
Thank you, sir.
That's really the only way to do it. Is
But
by
I just
selling
was
weed.
just like so
Yeah.
dumb.
To
Where I was
smoking
just
weed
like,
for free.
yeah. But I was just like in a parking lot, literally in a church parking lot after a football game, with 2 high schoolers. Like one of them was my ex-girlfriend's little brother, and we're in my
Well,
F1.
who else is going to be your client?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
No, they're
exactly.
minors, yeah, and they were like, they wanted to ride home. So I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll take you guys home. Like, fine, like whatever. And then they're like, I think this was their plan that I didn't realize at the time. They were like, we'll get him to give us a ride, and then we'll ask to smoke because we know he's gonna have weed. So I'm like, oh, fine. And then so we
So
pulled.
you got manipulated by high school kids?
Oh,
Yeah, but again, I was
Worst
basically a high
kind.
school kid. Like I
Worst
was like,
common manipulation.
yeah, I hadn't even I had taken a college class yet. I was still like about to start college. Or it was like I think I had like classes that like just started. And like yeah, and so we just smoke and
That's a weird time, though.
That's
share
such a
pulls into the
weird
parking
time.
lot. Yeah. And I'm just like lit joint and I have like scale and baggies.
Oh,
Like, I
you're
was done.
fucked.
I was done.
Yeah,
Yeah, all the
I, like
stuff.
it was that was and I was like I thought I was going to like prison like right away. I didn't know like how it worked. I didn't know I was going to like county.
Yeah.
But I ended up not
Okay.
having to go to prison because I had a pretty sick lawyer.
Nice.
Good.
18 is a really weird year, especially like if you're 17 and you have a 17-year-old girlfriend or a 16-year-old girlfriend. Because like that happened to me where I was 17, I had a 16-year-old girlfriend, and then I turned 18 and she was still 16, and then you're like, oh, like there's that weird kind of thing. You're
I
already
had
cool with
Parents
Yeah.
have got to be cool
You,
with it.
well, already cool with the
Yeah.
parents, so everyone knew what was going to be expecting to happen. I mean,
Yeah.
they knew I was going to be turning.
No, if you were
18 at some
28
point.
rolling up on a 16-year-old,
Exactly.
that's
So
going to be a different deal.
I had
is-
the opposite actually. My girlfriend turned 18 before when I was still 17, so I was technically statutory raped.
Yeah,
I'm a survivor.
but see, that's fine.
Yeah, but you're on a different spectrum of the
But-
survivor.
Yeah.
I think when it
It's a
comes
serious
to,
issue. I'm
I
sorry.
think when it is a serious issue, not to make light, but I think
Yeah.
like when it comes to
Funny,
that, when
though.
you roll over, like there's that point
Yeah,
where
no,
you
it
roll
is.
over, where you're just like, well, what do I do? I'm rolling
No,
over.
it's especially it's like it is one of those things where it's you got to be careful to talk about it, but it's like it's pretty clear when it's like the relationship started when you were both
Yeah, they're both
like
minors.
Underage.
But
Yeah,
it's like
it's-
if there is like a little overlap, you can be like realistic where it's like okay, but then it's like you got to be careful when it's like you have some guy that's like because there's those like laws where it's like the age of consent is like under that age for that reason I think. But
well,
it's like then
I
it gets
think in
weird
Tennessee it's
when
actually
yeah.
16.
But then it's weird when it's like a 30-year-old dude and it's like
That-
well,
that's
that's
what-
not what this law is intended
that's
for.
what
You're
makes
being
it
a
different.
dickhead.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So I was in high school knowing girls that were going out with dudes that were in their 30s and shit, you know.
Hoochie mamas.
Dude, I hear it all the time that the amount of like classic rock songs when you look at the lyrics and they're talking about just like teenage girls.
She's only 17.
Yeah, no, it's like
Uh,
there's like insane amounts of examples. It's crazy. Like you could, I'm sure there's Spotify playlists that they have just of all like they could fill up like 40
But don't
songs.
Huh.
go looking for
It's
that
almost like
playlist.
they're
Oh, yeah.
programming the girls. They have programmed the girls
It is, no, it's strange. It's very strange.
with all their
That is strange.
programming techniques.
Would you like another shot, sir?
Let's do another shot.
Fuck
There you
yes.
go, dude.
What
So,
time you got
I've
started?
been
So how's things been going?
doing good.
You're,
I got
you're
my,
running a mic, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, weed dispensary. It's Chris's old spot.
Is that
Yes.
holistic?
Yes, Holistic Connection, Harding Pike.
Still on Friday.
Every Friday, 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Prime time.
So horror stories. Do you have any horror stories?
Uh,
Ghost stories, demons,
I
wicked
used
stepmothers.
Cryptids.
I used to ride a
Cryptids.
horse headless through a park in Sleepy Hollow.
All right.
No,
Ah.
I've never seen a
To
ghost.
traumatizing people.
I want to see a ghost. I've always wanted to see a
Traumatizing
ghost.
people.
How old are you?
30.
30.
30 years
And, you,
old.
and
Okay.
you've never seen
Never seen a
anything?
ghost. Always
So
wanted to see
I'm
it.
51 and
Jealous.
I've never seen it. I've never experienced it. I don't know. I mean, it's like there's people that Jesus
not
or
everybody's-
somebody. I mean, just something.
Not everybody's lying. It's kind of like aliens, Bigfoot sightings. Not everybody's lying. There's people that are seeing something.
You have
They're
made
seeing
me.
something.
Something's
All
happening.
right. I'm not gonna say that everybody who's seen
No.
an alien or a ghost or a cryptid or whatever
Yeah.
is lying, but I think there's a lot of people who are bored.
Want
There's a lot
attention.
of
Yeah.
people who want attention.
Want attention.
Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
I
just-
kind of look at it the same way as like I feel like I felt like spiritual experiences where like you feel like there's like a higher power or something out there, but it's like I've never experienced a ghost. But I feel like in the same way that's like people that are just like they have never had an experience like that, so they're like, oh, it definitely doesn't exist.
John.
Speaking,
Balloon guys
we got
here.
we got a good Christian in the room.
Quick,
that
cut
have
it to
a higher
the
power.
cut it to the balloon guy.
It's okay.
But no, it's like I've never experienced it, but it's like I can see. You're saying I believe those people that have had that experience, and it'd be way cooler.
I've never had like a paranormal experience, like as far as like a ghost or.
What do you feel about demons, though?
I feel like they're all real. I've
met
had
people
Demons
that
are
are
real.
demons.
Yes.
I've met people where I've seen their demons. You ever see where someone's expression shifts just for a second? You're like,
Eyes.
oh, there's something underneath that.
What
Yeah.
about interdimensional demons? Have you seen those documents?
I've seen documentaries on that and stuff, but I mean, I really don't. I mean, I've never seen anything crazy. I've never seen lizard people. I've never seen ghosts. I've never seen demons, and I want to.
I know.
I mean, I don't.
Do you?
I know.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to, but like, I would like to.
I
have
understand exactly what
knowledge.
you're saying. You want to be
that
like,
there's something because
I
like
confirmed that
I want to
it's
see it
real.
from a distance, not a
Have you
Yeah.
confirmed
like
that it's
like
real?
in a zoo, you'd want to go to a zoo
So-
where you could look at demons
that
and
would
hang
be
out behind the
fantastic
glass.
if we could do that.
But
Now,
then
when I
you're
was-
like, the demon's asleep. Can somebody wake him up?
Now in high
we gotta
school,
kill it.
when we got into like heavy metal and all the other shit, we like when you get into Slayer, when you're like 15 years old and you found Slayer for the first time,
Yeah.
like that right there is like, oh yeah, because like in my head as a kid, in the shit that I was getting into, it was just like, well, I want proof one way or the other. Now, Christ isn't going to come down and have a conversation with me, nor is he probably going to send an angel to come down and have a conversation. But
Gave up too soon.
this motherfucker over here, Satan or Beelzebub or one of these other motherfuckers,
Beelzebub?
would surely pop up and say
Yeah.
hello and smoke a joint or whatever, right? So in my mind, if there was proof of one, then
Yeah.
there would be proof of the other, and then whatever I needed to do to like make things right, I'd make things right. But like I'm looking for proof. So as a kid, we were into some like fucked up shit, doing fucked up shit, trying to evoke fucked up shit. We never evoked anything. We never did anything. We never able to do it. But like, I'm not saying
I
that we
understand
didn't
that.
go through the motion.
I get that.
So you're saying like
curiosity.
Ouija boards, trying to do
Yes.
some sort of like
Anything
rituals.
that you can do. It starts with. It always starts
No,
with
I
the
get
Ouija
it.
board.
It's just
Yeah.
it's like it's a
does.
curiosity where you're like you know that it's because it's just like that would be crazy to see if it was actually real, and it's like you don't actually want to experience it really.
You don't, but,
but,
you
but you're
want
just like
the knowledge of it because
Yeah.
then that first of all, everyone's life is based on stories that you're told that have no way of being told. So you're looking, and this is people like there are other people that have blind faith and they do it regardless and they don't have these issues. But there are other people that wrestle with it, and it's something that I've wrestled my entire life with, whether there's an afterlife or a religion, or if there is a religion, which religion do you go for, blah blah blah. So you want some type of proof regardless, and the fast track certainly would be like something fucked up that you've seen in every 80s horror
Yeah,
movie.
like do
So
some crazy
right,
ritual.
right, exactly. So like if you can like evoke, say, some kind of little monster that's like, hey guys, let's smoke a joint, then obviously then there's gonna be
They
the
all float
opposite
down
end
here.
of that, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So obviously there's the opposite end of that, and then I could put a belief system in place. But without that, I really don't have anything. It's like the craziest thing I've ever seen, and I guess it's gone now, but I used to have this thing that was in the backyard, and I've spent too many episodes to talk about that. But like I've not really experienced anything fucked up. Now the monsters that I have experienced in life are real people, and
Oh.
I've experienced real monsters in life, and I believe 100% that I lived above a retired serial killer. Like my very first apartment, I believe that
that's commendable.
and how long are we on this bit? Do we know how long?
We're on for 54, 43.
All right. So how long have we been on this personal bit? We've been on it 5 minutes. I don't want to take up too much time.
Yeah, wrap up this retired
hurry
serial
the
killer
fuck
story.
up.
I need to know about this.
All right.
Because
So you
I'm
guys
saying
want to
that's
hear
crazy to retire. That's a real.
Give us your clues
Yeah, how do you
and what
think he's
led you to
retired?
believe
He had
such
a
a
goal.
thing.
Do you think he like
Do you wanna do another
like
shot?
he hit 100?
Do you want to do
Yeah.
another shot? All right. Do you burn weed?
Yeah.
You wanna burn weed? So let's
Like,
settle
what do you
in
think
for
it
a
was?
minute.
Do you think he had like a?
Oh no,
list?
I'll tell you. So are you guys ready for a story? Because I've never told this story before.
Oh
Yes.
my god.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for it. I'm getting
A
ready
serial
for
killer
He's
with a
the
quota.
retired serial
Are you
killer.
ready for
That's
this?
what it
Yeah.
is.
Quota.
Me?
No,
Why
I'm-
does it? Oh.
No, I'm saying that. Do you think he had like a quota and he was like, "I'm done"?
No,
I'm
I
out.
think this dude is.
He already had too many olive men. He said, if I kill one more olive men, God's really gonna get me.
There aren't too many olive dudes out there, man. Like, you know, like most people don't know. Like, I got away from, like, most people thought I was white for, like, my first 30 years. I never got into the sun or anything like that, so no one really saw what my complexion was. But, like, I had, like, a white privilege card for, like, the first 30 years of my life. And believe me, white privilege is great. To
is-
white privilege.
Yay!
Yay.
What are you like? Like Armenian? Like?
No, I'm
from, like, the
Italian. I'm
Balkans?
Sicilian.
Okay.
I'm Sicilian.
All right, Balkan.
But
Pretty
but
close.
I mean, like if you can see if I got into the sun, like I'm you can tell I'm a different human being.
All right, so serial killer.
Okay, yeah.
Shots are in.
My first apartment. So I was I don't know if I told anyone this, but I was homeless for a couple of years when I was in my band. Essentially, when my band broke up. When you're in a band, you get this privilege of being able to ride people's couches because you're in the band and they love your music, and
Yeah.
you can kind of get away with being a schlub because you're creating this music and they understand that you're not making any money and blah blah blah. So
yeah.
I was homeless for a while. When the band broke up and the invitations for couches dried up, which they do, and you're just a dude who's just a white piece of trash who used to play music, and now you got to get your shit together. Now you're officially homeless. Now you realize that you're fucked, right? So my first apartment was a Section 8 apartment off of Nolensville Road off of Edmondson. And it took a while to get. You had to get on a waiting list to get on this, and I wound up getting out pretty quickly because I looked white. I could imagine because a lot of people were complaining about being on that list for like 2 years, and it was like 2 weeks. I was on there, so I got my first apartment, and it was me, and I moved in a best friend of mine. And then another best friend. So it was me and two of my best friends from high school. Rent was super, but all right. So if you've never lived in a Section 8 apartment before, they're very hollow.
Thank you for not assuming. I appreciate it.
Sure. You can hear anything. The walls are very thin. The ceilings are very thin. The walls are very thin. If someone in the complex farts, you knew who farted. Right? So when I and my friend moved in, we were probably in the apartment for about an hour. We had moved to like a couch in, my bed in, his bed in, a few different things. And then all of a sudden we hear on the door. So I open the door and then I look down and there's this very short female and she's very excited and she's warning us, warning me in particular about the guy who lives downstairs, the old man that lives downstairs. She's like, I gotta tell you about the old man that lives downstairs.
Okay.
She was the former resident of this apartment. Right?
Real quick,
So-
are you sure she wasn't a ghost?
I'm right? Okay.
Okay.
In this
He's been seeing
situation,
ghosts the whole time. He just didn't know it.
in this situation, you could definitely like M. Night Shyamalan it, right? So she tells me how of these experiences she had with this dude and blah blah blah. And I've not even met this guy yet. Never even been introduced to this guy. I've only been in this apartment for an hour, and she's already like. There's no telling when I could have moved in. Was she stalking me? Did she just happen to go by? Did she? Oh, it's the first of the month. There's probably the new resident there. Who knows? But anyway, literally, an hour in, she's telling me all this story, and then she leaves. Like she won't come into the apartment. Refuses to come into the apartment. She leaves. Me and my buddy, we laugh it off. We smoke a joint. Blah blah blah. about a week later, in the middle of the night, I get up to piss in the middle of the night. Even back then, in my fucking early 20s, I was 21, 22, something like that. I get up to piss 2 or 3 times a night. So I got up in the middle of the night, and then in the middle of the night, under me, my feet, he's hitting, the neighbor downstairs is hitting the ceiling with, I guess, a broom handle or something. But under my feet, I hear, like, I'm bothering him. But it's just like as soon as I got up out of my bed and hit the floor, it took 3 steps. Like, he was waiting for me to get up in the middle of the night, which is weird. So I get up, I piss, I go back to bed as quietly as I can and everything. This winds up going on for about a week before finally I get up, and I'm not thinking about it. You're half asleep. I'm going to go piss, and I'm feeling his broomstick underneath me. And then I'm just like, boom, 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 boom. Fuck you, you old motherfucker. I don't even know what he looks like. I've only been told what he's like. Yeah. But again, I'm like, fuck you, you old motherfucker. And I know that everybody in this apartment complex could hear me because, like, and I'm, like, waking up and realizing what I just did. I'm realizing the situation that's going on. I piss. I go back to sleep, blah, blah, blah. So I decide that I'm going to get carpet to put in for the apartment. So, like, me and my bud, we fucking carpeted the whole fucking place. So, like,
nice.
We put padding down, we put carpet down, we fucking did the whole fucking 9 yards and everything. But still, I would wind up fucking hearing this motherfucker. He would still wait for me to get up, and I couldn't. I was like, what the fuck, man? Why is he still fucking, like, I really thought at this point he was fucking with me. Like, he was waiting in the middle, like he didn't sleep. Like, he was just waiting for me to get up in the middle of the night. It was just,
it's time your pisses out.
I couldn't figure out what it was. Like, I'm going processing. I can't figure it out. So finally, I wound up getting one of those urinals. You can go to Walmart and buy. I went to Kmart and bought a urinal and just kept that.
Wow,
yeah, I just kept that at the side of my fucking bed. You could buy a fucking plastic fucking urinal.
I think he's talking about a bottle. He's pissing in the bottle.
You're pissing in a bottle, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but I mean, it's a specific.
I didn't know what's this thing.
Look, man.
Bedpan.
Fucking shit. Yeah, bedpan. You can go to 1940s, bedpan. Sure.
Bedpan.
So anyway, I'm pissing in a bottle,
Okay.
right? And then, like, there's a point where I'm in my living room and I'm listening to a new album that had just come out. I just went and bought Lollapalooza tickets, 93. Lollapalooza 93.
Oh, shit.
Primus, Alice in Chains, Arrested Development, great fucking show. And I bought some CD that had just come out. I can't remember what it was. And I got home and I'm listening to it, and again I'm hearing him, and I was like, "Look, you motherfucker!" I mean, it was just like I'm screaming. I'm sitting there like I'm a grown man screaming to another grown man through a fucking floor, right? So then I hear a knocking at the door, and it's him, and he's tall. Like, when I open up the door to the female, and she's little, and I'm looking down at her. Like, when I open up the door, and it's like lurch, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, oh my fucking God. Like, this dude in his prime was a monster. This dude in his prime, like, this dude at 20 years old, 30 years old, would be the scariest motherfucker you had ever seen in your life. But this dude at 70 maybe, 60s, late 60s, was still intimidating. Like, when I opened the door, I was like, hey, I knew exactly who he was. I didn't have to, like, ask who he was. Like, looking, I was like, oh, you know?
Yeah.
And so, like, just the scariest dude. And so, but he's there with a plate of food.
Oh, fuck that. I ain't eating that shit.
Oh, no. Yeah, old tall people already look like wizards. I'm not eating the food from that guy.
Yeah.
Gray
no,
hair,
thank
he's
you.
tall, he's semi-slender.
So what'd you do?
I took the food. He's talking to me. He's like, hey, we got off on the wrong start. We're neighbors, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, I don't even know who the fuck you are. I don't know what's going on, but you want to be cool. Let's be cool. And so he gives me this food. Now, let me tell you something about this plate of food.
You ate it.
As a kid who hasn't had a home-cooked meal in a while, and as a kid who was broke as fuck, and as a kid who was fucking giving a...
He knew what he was doing.
Oh, my fucking God, dude. So, like, I sat that food down in the kitchen and everything after having a conversation with him and, like, smoked a joint. And do you know that I ate every goddamn bit of food that was on there?
You didn't even think?
I slept so well. So we
That's
actually
good.
started to get along there for a while, and like he would like knock on the door and bring the food, and never come in the apartment.
Well, he's a
But
vampire.
But he would bring the food. He would bring the food and everything. We would talk in the hallway and everything, and then like I'd smoke a joint and then eat and then go right to bed. And like a couple of weeks into this, into this.
Like he's coming over every day and handing you food.
I'm talking to my roommate at this point, and he's talking to me about it. Like, what is wrong with you? Right? Like if Sloan was my roommate, pretty much. This is
The
my
fuck
roommate.
is wrong with you,
Like,
dude?
yeah. Oh, I'm sweating thinking about this. It's about to get fucked up.
Oh God.
So
This is an episode of
I'm-
American
I'm-
Horror Story.
I'm thinking about it and everything, and I'm like, man, I think you're right. I think he's poisoning me. I think he's like putting something in the food because I don't get up to piss in the middle of the night anymore. Like I don't get up at all.
God.
Like I smoke a joint and I'm watching TV and I eat the dinner that he's made. I pass the fuck out.
Do you remember what kind of food this was? I'm just
Anything.
curious.
Fried chicken,
Okay.
fucking Salisbury steak, but with sides, like a meal. Not like he's coming up giving me like a couple of slices of pizza that he fucking ordered. Like he's a guy who seemed to have like, had a wife or something and made like, food for
Yeah.
two. And usually if you're like going out and buying food, you're usually making enough food for two anyway. So I'm like, I'm not putting two and two
all right.
together, right?
I can. All right. Okay.
Lonely old
Yeah.
man.
But then exactly.
Lonely
old
But
man.
then as I'm talking to my bud, my roommate, about it, and he was like, "Dude, you're actually eating what he's giving you?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." And I'm trying to rationalize it and everything, but then I'm like, "Well, wait a minute. I'm sleeping through the night." It's like, oh fuck, man, he is poisoning me. He's putting, or not poisoning me, but drugging me. Like he's
Yeah.
putting
Yeah.
something in my food to the point where like I'm not disturbing him or anybody else in this apartment complex at all. Like I'm eating, and then at 8 o'clock I'm done.
He's just your physician at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
So after this conversation,
pharmacist.
after I had this conversation with him, he comes to the door and he's knock, 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 and he's got the food, and I was like, "Nah, man, I'm good." And instantly,
Wait. You didn't think to just keep accepting it and then not eat it?
what I should have done.
Just throw it away.
No. Even better than that, what I should have done, and like I didn't think about it because like I'm stupid, but what I should have done is accepted it and then had that food tested.
Oh yeah. But
That's what I should
that
have
costs
done.
money though.
No.
Yeah,
Not if you
but
go
that
to the
would've-
police and
right.
say, "Hey, man, the last 2 weeks, exactly right
Honestly,
there."
I
'Cause
don't
can
even
you
know if I would have
imagine?
thought of that. I would have thrown
Right,
it
I
away,
would
yeah.
exactly. But I refused it just because I was just like, "No, fuck you, man."
No, I get
right?
it, yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
as soon as I refused, I wasn't even like rude or anything. I didn't have a chance to be rude. As soon as I was like, "Nah, man," and I was like
Did
trying
you
to
see
be
his
cool.
second eyelids? Like,
No.
flicker?
It didn't even like the demon didn't even flicker. The demon came out. He got mad, started screaming at me, spit and foam was frothing out the fucking mouth and everything. I'm sorry if I'm really taking up so much time in this segment.
We gotta hear this. This is
All
what
right.
he said.
All right. So, anyway, I get a second roommate in, a friend that, again, like I said, like the first guy was there, the second guy come in. And that day that the second guy had wound up moving in, at a thrift store, I found a drum kit for $60. Now, if you found I went into a thrift store.
That's cheap, yeah.
And like this was 1993, so to find a full 5-piece Slingerland drum kit for $60.
Yeah,
So I
crazy.
walked in there and I was like, "Oh my God, man, I will buy this right now." It had a sign on it for sale, and they were like, "Well, dude didn't come up. He never paid for it. It's not actually sold. If you buy it right now, it's yours." I walked. Like I didn't even have a ride, so I bought it, went back to work, begged for a ride, went back home and had this fucking thing set up, right? My friend moved in. So I told my friend about the guy downstairs, don't piss him off and everything. I got this drum kit set up. Please don't play the fucking drum kit. I get home from work the next day, and that new roommate is gone. All his stuff is gone. And then I hear something at my front door. I go to my front door, and there's an eviction notice on my front door. Like, what the fuck? And I go on there, and the eviction notice, because I'm playing drums in the apartment. I've not even played the
Like,
drum.
Did you play my drum set?
The new
Oh,
drum.
my nutsack!
The new fucking roommate was playing the drums and then wound up getting me evicted. Well, the old guy downstairs, so I went to the apartment complex and I was like, dude, I just got this drum kit. I never played it. If someone played it, wasn't my fault and it will never happen again. And I was like, well, who, you know, and they were like, well, it was the old guy downstairs. So I went to the old guy downstairs, knocked on his door. He opened it up, and just the smell of his apartment when it opened up was just...
You were eating food for that.
It was... Yeah. There was this rancidity. You know, like, it's like dumpster juice.
Oh, God.
Almost. Like, it was just...
Sewer water.
It was very close, like brackish water. So I opened it up, and there's like this smell of brackish water. And I was like, hey, man, we've got off on the wrong foot. I don't want to get another eviction notice. We've got to...
plate of food.
Yeah. So he invites me in. So I go in, and we have a conversation. We talk and everything.
You just wanted to get murdered at this point, didn't you?
For the
You
story.
went in.
For the story.
So we're talking in his living room, and I'm looking in his living room, and there's no furniture per se. You can see where there were couches, but there was junk piled up on like a couch, and like there's a love seat over here that's junk piled up on. There's
And a
but
PS2.
every pile looks like an individual pile, and every pile looks like an individual's pile. Like every pile looked like it belonged to a particular person.
Wow.
There wasn't, and he was showing me these. So he's like, "Oh, you're into music and everything," because I was a musician. I was like, "Yeah." And so he's showing me all these photo albums from all these musicians that played the Grand Ole Opry. He's showing me this guitar that played the Grand Ole Opry. He's showing me all these things. And I was like, "Oh, well, how long have you been playing guitar?" "Oh, I don't play guitar." "Oh, well, where are you in these pictures of these people in the Grand Ole?" "I'm not in them." He's showing me all this stuff that really didn't have anything to do with him, but was culturally important. Like he's showing me some like things that should be in museums, but are in his apartment, right? And so like, but none of it really belonged to him. And then like as he's offering me something to drink, I was like, yeah, I'll take a Coke. And so he's bringing me in a Coke. But as he's going into his kitchen, which is the same setup as my apartment, and as he's left the room, and I'm looking around, and literally I'm like, wait a minute, like if none of this stuff is his. If he's not into any of this stuff, and everything looked like it was just like if he went in and took all my personal shit out of my apartment.
Is there a pile of shoes in the
then,
corner?
and then just
stuff over
stuffed
there.
all my shit and just piled it up. And then you looked and where like everybody else's shit would be. All of a sudden, I started getting really freaked the fuck out. Like, I mean, really. So he came in.
This would be a great
And
scene
we're
in
talking.
a horror movie, like no joke.
Dude. So we go probably another hour talking and the point where it's like I'm so unnerved at this point. All I want to do is leave this apartment. Like the smell of the apartment is really overcoming. I walked 5 feet into the apartment and didn't leave where I was standing. And in the vicinity of where I was standing, I was really getting freaked out because the piles of stuff became piles of people and their personalities, and like it was just the more I was in there, the more I realized that this dude was collecting shit that was not his. Everything that he showed me wasn't his. Everything he showed me was the most awesome, coolest shit, but was not his.
That's creepy as
Well, who
fuck.
do you say it was?
So I leave the apartment complex and I go back upstairs. So the following day, I have a birthday party, and we invite some people over, and my brother shows up, and I decide to go to the liquor store to buy a couple of bottles of liquor. Not many people there. There's probably about 10, 15 people there.
Enough
But-
to piss off the old guy
But
downstairs.
once my brother gets there, I leave to go. I figure my brother's there. He can hold shit down. I'll get some liquor. I come back. Everybody is gone. My brother is... First of all, my brother... I pull up. My brother is running out of the apartment, and he's handing me just... He has this like a kilo of weed, and he just scoops this
damn.
fucking chunk of weed out, and he just hands it to me. He's like, "Happy birthday! I've got to go. Something come up. I'm sorry, but I got to go." So I'm standing outside my apartment complex with this big haystack of weed in my. I'm like, "What the fuck?" I had no clue what I'm about to walk into, right? So then I walk into my fucking apartment complex with all this fucking weed, and it's empty. All the people that were there were gone except for my roommate and his girlfriend. And he looked at me and he was like, I'm like, what the fuck happened? He's like, you need to hide that weed. The cops are probably going to be coming here anytime soon. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? Right? So I hide the fucking weed, right? And I was like, all right, so what happened? It's like, so your brother brought a gun into the apartment complex. And I was like, what did he do with the gun? He was like, well, he's showing everybody. And he was showing my roommate and a couple other friends back in my bedroom. So they were showing it at the floor. And then it went off. Went through the floor, and from what I understand of the floor plan, was directly underneath where
I've
he
never
was sleeping.
seen a more perfect case for probable cause in my life.
So I asked, did anybody go downstairs to make sure that anybody was okay? And they're like, no. I was like, well, have you heard from the old man downstairs? They're like, no. So he's probably dead right now, right? And they're like, probably. I'm like, what? So I'm there with probably a quarter pound of weed that's loose. That's not even like in a container or anything. Like everybody has split. So then I go down there and very meekly knock on the old man's door. This old woman shows up. She's like 90, who is his mother.
Ghost. Confirmed ghost.
Okay.
She was like, you know, she's just looking at me and she's not saying anything. She's just frazzled. And I was
Again,
like,
confirmed
I can't
ghost.
remember what dude's name was, but I was like, is dude home? And he comes to the door and he's very frazzled. Like the look he's giving to me and everything, but handling it very well. And I was like, hey, man. My brother, I have a. I was like, I'm having a birthday.
We started off on the wrong foot again.
Yeah. I was like, I'm having a birthday party up there. It's my birthday. My brother came over. He brought fireworks. Right? There's a hole through the fucking floor. I'm clearly not thinking straight at this time. I mean, you can clearly see a hole. Right? I can only imagine if you're in his bedroom, you can see into my bedroom. Right?
Bro, that's not the first bullet hole in this Section 8 house.
Right.
Come
Exactly.
on.
Sure. Oh, believe me, I got other stories from this. This is
All right,
crazy.
yeah, sorry.
But anyway, I'm talking with him, trying to smooth it over, and his mother looks like she's about to die. I mean, she looks like she's about like
From old age, just
whatever.
Because she
before
already
that-
has, because she's a ghost.
Right, sure. So I think that I smooth all of that over, and so I go back upstairs and everything, and me and my roommate, we light. Now everything is pitiful. We light the little candles on my ice cream cake. We smoke a joint, and then we just go to bed. Like the night is over with, you know. We're high at least, you know. Next day, I got an eviction notice, right? So I come home. I get the eviction notice off of my fucking door. I'm like, God damn it, not again. And I read it and everything, of course. So I go back to the fucking apartment complex, and I try to smooth things over with them. And, of course, I smooth things over. I came back. Open the apartment complex door, and my buddy is gone. Like my high school friend, his roommate is gone.
He's in a pile.
And so there's just a note. All his shit's gone. Hey, I met this girl, and this is believe me, if you knew this dude, this is not the dude that just meets the girl and then just takes the fuck off. Hey, meeting the girl would be like the most difficult part in this man's life, much less leaving overnight for this girl. And again, he has real fucked up handwriting. Like he's left-handed, should have been a right-handed maybe, but like if you look at his handwriting, you definitely think that there was some kind of neuropathy going on. And then this handwriting was not so crazy. It was a little bit more contained.
So you don't think it was actually
I met
his
this
hand?
girl. The girl supposedly that he met was this girl who was actually going out with another dude, and they had a cocaine addiction together. Like, it really didn't seem like they would be taking off. But anyway, so then, like, it's just... This is where things go on. I really need to get to another guest. I mean,
No, we had to finish the story, and I'll leave. I need the end of the story.
Half caucus now, man.
I go to the record store and buy another ticket to a concert where I met this chick, and I'm going to call her Rape Chick, just because of the fact
Really?
that I don't know anything else. I'm telling you, it's getting worse. So like this dude is back to like hitting the fucking ceiling every time I'm getting out. Even though I have like we're all back to this whole thing where it's all started back over again. Where it's like I come home from work and I'm still being tormented by this guy, and then it gets worse. He doesn't let up. But then I meet this girl, and we kind of like. We get together for the first couple of nights, and the first couple of nights, things get hot and heavy, and she's like, "No, I respect that and fine." But then I think about
Wait, you said no?
she says no. Like we get hot and heavy, and we get to the
He
point
didn't
where
say
like,
no.
yeah. But she says, and I respect that. But
Rape
then-
chick.
Rape chick.
Okay.
Right? But what I realized, like about a week and a half, I'm talking to a buddy, and I'm telling her, it's like, I met this girl. She's fucking great. Everything's hot and heavy, but man, and this is where you don't listen to your buddies. But I mean, he did make sense. But I mean, you never listen to this advice like this. But he was like, no, she's wanting you to take it. She's wanting you. And I'm like, no, blah, blah, blah. But then, like,
Okay.
when I'm with her.
All right.
So, like, I decided, I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm going to call her bluff this time. I'm not going to, like, do anything horrible. But, like,
I understand.
again, she says, no, we're not doing no, right?
Mm.
Everything was great. Everything was fine. Great night of fucking sex and fucking and just everything was great. Felt very wrong and everything, but like everything was great.
Consensual.
It was
non-consensual.
consensual, non-consensual, correct, right? Can I have some chocolate? Because, like, I'm getting so
It's a real term. That's a real term. I didn't
So-
make it up.
Like, and again, it's like one of those things, like, that could go real wrong. Like, either, like,
Oh yeah.
I mean,
like they're leaving their options open if they want to call the cops.
right.
Uh huh.
Bro,
Anyway,
I'm telling my buddy about this. He's telling me I should go for it. I go for it. And then at that point, the old man stops. Because she's only into it hard and rough and consensual and non-consensual. So every time is no. Every time is me having to take it. And every time is creating this rape fantasy in order for her to get off. Thank you.
Okay.
In order for her to get
What's
off.
up, buddy? How are
In
you?
order for me to get off, because I want to make sure that she gets off
I just
too.
want to be safe right now.
Yeah, I
There's no
know.
going back to
We
regular
need
sex after
help.
During this whole entire time, I don't hear anything from the old man downstairs, right?
Me too.
So then, I got worried about what I was doing because, like, in my normal day life, like, I would be at work and I'd see some girl and then have that thought and fantasy of just taking her and stuff like that. And like that's when, right? This is why I don't tell these stories.
You're fine. You're fine. We're amongst friends.
So I
Are we
break,
done with the old man yet, or what?
no, dude, we're not.
I break up with her, right? And then the moment that I break up with her, I started hearing the old man again. Now he's back in my fucking business. So I'm going back down to the old man's house and everything. I'm trying to have a conversation with him because, like, I don't want to leave the apartment. I can't afford to leave the apartment. So I go into the old man's house. And then I noticed there was a pile of shit that I recognized that was from one of my roommates. Then I noticed another pile of shit that I recognized from one of my roommates.
Oh.
And as I'm sitting there, like, there's no cell phones. There's not like I can click a picture or whatever like that. All of a sudden, everything started getting really, really real with this, with the poisoning, with his torment of me and everything and shit. The fact that his mother is still alive, they have this weird kind of fucking DNA fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre thing going and shit, Yeah. Like, I realized that the fact that I'm still alive is very, very fucking crazy. And that was the moment I decided that I was moving the fuck out because I did not want to be another pile in this man's apartment.
Have you not ever heard from your two roommates?
Holy-
No, those two guys I've never heard from again.
Jesus Christ,
Wait.
they're dead, man!
Dude, you need to write this
Dude,
as a
holy
script.
You got how do
Bro,
you live
I'm
with
telling you
yourself?
that's a fucking script. That's a movie script. That's crazy.
I moved the fuck out. Never thought about it again. But I do get traumatized when someone, like if I'm living somewhere and I hear someone like just banging on my door like a cop,
Oh
I'll
my
get that trauma.
god.
They'll come back like an echo of that old man. And like I can only imagine of him in his prime where he was like in his 30s and he was a serial killer? 'Cause,
You
like,
know that was their stuff.
Yeah,
in
'cause
Like,
the
if he
new
walked
file.
in
like
here
killing
in his
musicians
30s.
that were like drunk and like on drugs.
But that's the thing. It's like those piles were so different and so individualistic that like one was a musician, one was maybe a drifter, one was like some female that wanted to be an actress or something, or was on vacation. Yeah, like every pile of junk was different from every other pile of junk. Like no pile of junk had a reason to be there. Like every one seemed to represent a person. Well, happy
All right,
Halloween.
thank you so
Happy
much.
Halloween, dude.
Ralphie,
Next-
thank you for
No,
coming out.
thank
Do you want to do
you.
one more shot with me? Do you want to do one more shot?
Would
that-
you like
all right, yeah.
more
Yeah.
candy as well?
Yeah, let me take a look.
Hey man,
that was
that chocolate with whiskey is great. I think everybody should have chocolate with
Yeah,
whiskey.
chocolate
That was
covered
like
payday.
that changes
The
everything.
chocolate covered.
Oh wait a
payday.
minute. Here, Nick, I'm a little lit. Can you or Ralphie? I don't really don't want you to pour your own.
Dude,
shot.
I'm serious. Like, have you ever wrote a script before?
So I actually did write that, but I wrote it as I was into comic books, so I wrote it as a comic.
So it
book.
never happened.
No, it did happen. No, it's real.
Those two guys, you
'Cause-
never heard from your two roommates ever again.
Never again.
Never again.
That dude killed him.
Bro, I don't
Maybe.
even care if that's
Maybe.
real. That's a fucking awesome story.
Thank you. But
I believe you 100%, but that's either way.
Did you not
that's
care
a
about them
crazy
enough
story.
to try to find out if they were still alive?
well, that's the thing. You gotta think that this was this is 1993.
That's true. People just kind of come and go.
You could meet somebody at a concert, spend an entire day with them, get split up with
Yeah.
them, and never see them again.
Right, yeah.
This was 93 before the internet. Like, there was no way that anyone really kept information. Like, you could call a pizza place and say that you ordered a pizza 30 minutes ago and you paid for it, and
Yeah.
they would never know. They would just send you a free pizza. Like, this was the day before anything was really like held down to any type of like data service, so you couldn't really do anything. And if I can only imagine if I went into a police station, was like, "Hey, man," and told them that story, what they would say. I pretty much think that.
Well, wait, hold on, because like, so when I said probable cause back then, so when they shot into his apartment,
nothing was said.
So did
That's what makes me believe that he is a serial killer. Because my brother, now I didn't go into his bedroom and look up to see the hole. But in my bedroom, I can see where it shot through my flooring, through the subfloor. And because I couldn't see into his apartment because obviously insulation and whatever else.
Yeah.
But it was a 38 snub nose that he shot directly into the floor. And you could sound waves go through the floor perfectly. So I can only imagine a bullet.
But what I'm saying is, did the police not go into his apartment and
Never
see?
called the police. Never called the police.
That's creepy.
Oh, because it was Section
Nothing
8.
ever happened.
Because it was
Never,
Section 8.
ever,
Oh,
ever.
all right.
No
all right,
one
all right,
ever
okay.
reported
All right,
it.
well, I want to talk to you about like rewriting that script because I'm interested in writing scripts and I've done a few stuff.
I
down
would
there.
love for you to
But
write
that's
that.
an awesome story,
Sure.
and I would love to collab on that because that's crazy. That's so cool, and I love
Ralphie,
you guys so much.
thank you for coming out,
Thank you,
brother.
guys.
Thank you. All right. All right, everyone's listened to me long enough. Let's get to our next one. New to the fucking show. Everyone give it up to Otis Joe.
Otis!
Is he still here? Is he gone?
Is he outside?
He left, I think.
Did he leave?
Did he leave, or he might have just gone outside?
Oh, he might have just gone.
When I
Oh,
came out,
okay.
I saw a car leaving. I don't know if it
One.
was him or not.
All right.
Not confirmed.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kate Blower!
No problem.
Hey, I'm glad I timed that bathroom break pretty good. Okay. So, forgive my notes. This is pretty fresh. As Rev said, no repeats, so I wrote this last night. Okay. So I've been living downtown for the last 5 years, and right by the courthouse. And in this time, I've seen a myriad of homeless people. And I say homeless because unhoused sounds stupid. It doesn't make sense, and doesn't make these people any less outside. You can be cutesy and be like, we don't say homeless because Nashville, Tennessee is their home. And it's like, yes, that's nice to think about, but these people aren't living off the land, architecturally speaking. And even if they were, let's not act like historically we respect people who do that. I don't really think people care about the homeless in the way that they think that's admirable. I think that they just don't want to look at them. They would never invite one of them into their home. And I might touch on something that people might be scared to say, where some of the homeless you shouldn't give a house to because you know they're going to run that shit into the ground. They're going to run amok. It could become a drug den, and then the house could be condemned. And then you got this unpeopled house just sitting there with nobody to live in it. And it just becomes unfit for functionality, and some homeless people are unfit for functionality. And I know not all homeless people are like this. There are some out there that with a good shower and maybe a dental appointment, they could just turn it all around. I like to call these people the new homeless. You can kind of still see within their clothes that once used to be an outfit. The light in their eyes hasn't gone too far away, but they haven't really memorized any kind of like swindling routine. Not like the old homeless, where I think the old homeless are very pivotal to the ecosystem of the environment of the city. I view old homeless the same way that I view spiders. Though unsightly, they serve a purpose to the overall ecosystem. Spiders keep flies and mosquitoes out while the homeless keep tourists at bay. My street's never really all that dirty with drunk tourists, and I thank them for it. Yes, I might run into a cobweb every now and then, which is a homeless person really shouting like obscenities at me, or maybe they got too close to me where I can smell them. But all in all, as long as they stay outside and I'm inside, not come in my house, we're good. Because like a spider, if you're in my house, I'm gonna whack you with my boot. And that's what I got.
Hi,
What's up,
Kate.
dude?
Hello.
Well, we sat down and talk with you on Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
But your homeless thing, man. So here's the thing I noticed
fine.
about the unhoused, and this is what cracks me up. Is like, so they've got props now. Like all of them have like wheelchairs or walkers or something. But this one couple over here that on my way to work, they get me. I'm sitting in traffic and the very first time they got me. So one of the props that people or homeless are doing now, they have dogs. They all are sitting there and they all have a dog. And this one couple over here, they have this one little dog and they're like, oh, look, I've got this little puppy. And they're always holding it. And it's cold outside. And look at this little puppy and everything. And so they're like, they got a dog. And so, you give, whatever change that you have and everything. But then I was going back home on the way back, and I saw this dog, and it wasn't a little puppy at all. It was like this old mangy dog, and it had these little short, little stubby fucking feet and everything. And it was a con artist too. Like the dogs are in on it. It was just like everybody on the street. It's just I don't want to give any fucking like money anymore, because like I feel like I'm a kind heart. Like if I see somebody and they're struggling, I'm like, if I got some money in my pocket, I'll give it to them, even if it's just change. It doesn't mean anything to me, but it mean a lot to them. But like I see them hustling now to the point where like they're changing out props and stuff like that. It's just like, if I took that time and effort that they did, I mean, that would be working harder than the job that I actually have. Like I don't understand, like, from like the moment the sun is up to the moment the sun is down, to be out in the hot fucking street all day and fucking like begging for fucking money. I mean, I understand being homeless is fucked up and you have to do what the fuck you gotta do. But man, it's like really getting crazy. Like every single street corner there is a performer out there. And they're not performing for like entertainment. They're performing in order to try to get your sympathy. And it's like just the craziest thing, because I can only imagine that they're causing so many, like the guy that I saw that got hit, I can only imagine that just seconds before that, he was trying to beg somebody in fucking traffic for fucking money. It's gotten ridiculous.
What's wild was would that person get manslaughter? But if no one can identify the body, and there's really no next of kin, and
No one
person's
came
just kinda,
and no one recorded it.
unidentified.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like how.
It was like it would never happen. I mean, driving back through there, like I said, it was like it never happened. Like, no one gave two fucking shits.
That's really sad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, homeless can happen to anybody. I mean, anybody can, on a moment's notice, could be on the fucking
One of my
street.
favorite lyrics is from AJJ, where it's like we're all two moves away from being the person that we pity most.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that if I have money to give to somebody, I'll give it to someone if I think that they need something to eat. But you wind up getting into the habit. Like I got in the habit of like if I saw somebody who was begging for money outside of a McDonald's or something, and I was going through the drive-through, and say like I decided to buy an extra sausage biscuit to give to that person.
Yeah.
They're not there for that fucking sausage biscuit. They're not there to be fed for that day. They're there to collect money. So I'm not there to be your income. If you're starving and you need something to eat, I would love to feed you. You know, you need something to eat. You coming up to me like, hey man, I haven't fucking eaten in fucking a day or something like that. I need to fucking eat. Sure, bro, I got you. But like if I give you something to eat and then you scoff at that and you're just there to make money, no, bitch.
They start telling you the nutritional value of
Yeah,
a sausage biscuit.
exactly.
You're like, do you know how many calories this is?
Don't take the sausage biscuit.
Every now and then, if I walking out of a bar on Printers Alley, if I have like beer in my can and I'm just kind of already know I'm done for the evening, I'll hit my beer out.
There you go. That's something.
Yeah.
I'm at the park and I walk my dog and I'm at the finish, the joint that I'm smoking. If there's a homeless dude that's there, he nicks me do it. Like I've handed
Give him
my
like the
roach
last
to
little
people.
bit, be like, hey.
Fuck yeah, have a good day, you know.
Have a good
But
day.
That's
there
like
is-
enough to turn that day around. You never know.
Exactly, but there are those people that are there that I mean,
Some of them are too far gone.
yeah,
True.
it's
Too far gone.
There's some that you see.
The ones that are tweaking in the parking lot next to Limelight.
Yeah. I saw one tweaking through McDonald's the last time you and I went to the park.
she was rough.
Yeah.
So
her face was all like covered.
the
in,
following week, I ran into her
like-
again when I was. I decided not to walk up to that one. I thought I'd be safer driving up to it. Oh, I was so wrong. She accosted the car. She was like, "Hey, could you buy me a number one?" I was like, "A number one? That's $10 fucking dollars. You couldn't ask for a sausage biscuit. If you would have asked for a sausage
Dollar
biscuit,
menu.
I probably would have. I probably would have bought her a $2 sausage biscuit."
Yeah.
But she come up to me wanting to, hey, can you get me a number one? Bitch, I'm not even buying me a number one.
I ain't got that kind of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you have any horror stories? Any type of ghosts?
So I've been thinking about that. I have
Okay.
got a whole bunch of ghost ones.
Okay.
But also
What's the
Very
scariest
nice.
ghost story that Kate Lauer has?
not really even scary. They've all been pretty chill. So like maybe when I was a child, we used to live. Oddly enough, it was 95 Tappan Avenue, and in the house there used to be a tap dancer that lived above, but it caught fire and then he died. The house itself survived, but now it was a duplex, so it's like.
So in the middle of the night, you hear tap dancing?
Yes, essentially in the hallway we would hear tap dancing, and then every now and then we would see a face or so.
Yeah.
At the church that my parents were volunteering at, there was like these old ass kind of like bishops' chairs, not bishops, deacon, wherever like one of those like high people up in that, they sit at those kind of chairs, and those two were like in the back, and I could kind of see like a woman figure and a man figure, kind of like a king and queen sort of deal. They were chill. Fast forward, my best friend and I, we used to live in this one house, and there would be this mysterious spot on the ground that would appear and then disappear. And
Whoa. A spot on the ground like a vortex?
no, we
Or a
would
shadow?
we were thinking bloodstain. So like it would appear sometimes and then it would disappear, and we didn't really know what caused it because it wasn't like heat or cold. Sometimes we would put like an ottoman over it. Sometimes we wouldn't, but like sometimes it was there. There was one evening that was kind of freaky. We were coming back from the Roxy. I was with a friend of mine, and she was riding with her boyfriend, and we all had like 3 dogs all together in the house. I get home with my friend first. I go to the bathroom. I walk out, and like from the bathroom, her and her boyfriend at the time, their bedroom faced the bathroom, and I could see something like turn over in the bed. And so I go back out into the living room. My friend's like, where are they at? I was like, oh, I think they all went to bed. He's like, no, they're not here. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, I saw something turn over. It must have been the dogs. He's like, no, all 3 dogs have been out here. I'm like, that's freaky. And then like just like little things like the microwave would go off and the trash can would fall over. Currently, I got like just a vibe in my apartment. Like you could see that it got extended. Like part of my kitchen area used to be the stairwell, so I think somebody might have died in the stairwell. And they just be chilling like on that wall in the kitchen. They don't really leave. that spot, but they don't really do anything. It's like more so if I have to go get a drink of water in the middle of the night, it's kind of like a, hey, this is my time. Like,
But you feel them there.
yeah, it's like, hey, this is my time. And then there was one time where I was falling asleep and I was like dead tired and I could hear like a voice and like say his name and I was just like, I don't care, just be nice. And I went to bed.
Oh. Wow.
Now, Halloween themed, like, a lot, well, I was going to say a lot of people, but no, it's sad. I was at a Halloween party, like, years ago where 2 people died. They got shot at.
Shit.
Yeah.
You saw it happen?
It's crazy,
Yeah,
dude.
so we were all inside. It was like a cabin party. Cabin in the woods. It was
Okay.
a cabin party, and we could hear the shots inside. Everybody goes outside, hear a shot outside. But, like, people are going every which way, and people are getting trampled because there's, like, stairs involved and things. Yes. There's one body on the ground, and somebody goes to check that body, and then that person gets shot. So, like, ain't nobody going near these bodies no more. And also, because it was in the woods, and because of so many people that were attending, we all had to park, like, miles away.
Where was this at?
This was Dover, well, Clarksville, Tennessee, and it was, like, off of Dover or off of Dotsonville, like, in the Sticks area.
To Dover.
To Dover.
To the Dover murders.
Ah, jeez.
Did
At
they
a
catch you dead?
cabin. That's straight up like a
So-
movie, too.
It did kind of feel like a movie. So you have to make like a mile or 2 trek through the woods to get back to where all the cars were parked. And that was kind of scary. But as long as like you kind of stayed with your group at the time and you just kind of like focus on the car, like go, go, go. What was kind of funny was seeing like half naked chicks throughout all of this because like scantily clad costumes around that time. So it's like
dude.
you would just see ass cheeks jiggling.
Through the
And
woods.
As you would want
Blowing
to.
through the
As you
woods.
would want to see.
Where it's like while you're trying to get to safety, and then it took like 3 hours to just get out of there because of the whole traffic. And by this time, the cops were involved, and so they're stopping each car. And so I remember having to like
Interviewing
use the
people
bathroom in
and-
people's yards, and people were like standing outside their yards.
Do you
like, what
squat
the
or
fuck's
stand?
happening? I think at the time I was kind of standing because I was drunk and by a tree and like kind of.
Do you play it off? Do you play it off like you're not pissing?
No, like full well. Like there was a woman standing outside her door, and I was just like, "I'm sorry," and she just kind of like went like that because
Happens.
What can you
Hey,
do?
Happens
like,
all the time.
kind of like as long as you out there, that's fine. Don't come in here.
Yeah, right.
Right.
So did they catch you actually shot the people?
I don't think so. I think I knew that it was gang related, but for a while there, I think for a good 2 years, the cops would make routine calls to check of, like who went to the party, see if they had more information. But I don't really know if it ever got followed up. That's a good question. At the time, I was like, I don't know, 23, 24, so I wasn't really like trying to find more, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it didn't really traumatize you that much.
No, and my boyfriend at the time and I, we had a fight about that. It was
You had a fight about it.
Yeah, because he was super traumatized about it, and I remember I was trying to write like an exam paper, and
I got shit to do. I
What
ain't
the
got
fuck?
time.
Yeah.
and he was freaking out on me, and he turned off the computer. Like, thank God it was like saving as it went, but you know.
Jeez, dude.
But I was like, what am I? was like,
What?
yeah,
That's so rude.
I
That
know.
is crazy.
What is turning the computer off gonna do?
To stop me from writing. But like at the time, I'm like, I didn't know the guys that got killed. I was just somebody at the party. Like, I'm sorry. I was sad that it had happened, but at the same time, like,
But you saw the bodies.
yeah. And I'm like,
Oh. Yeah.
but they weren't so close. It wasn't like here to here. It was more so like,
But still seeing it though.
yeah, like here to the distance for your house, like here to,
Sure.
yeah, something like that.
That's pretty close, even still. Yeah. Well, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy one.
It's weird when you wind up seeing someone dead for the first time. Like the first time I saw someone dead for the first time was at a funeral,
Yeah.
and you know they're just like a husk. There's like nothing really there.
Yeah.
But then when like you see someone die, like I don't know if that homeless dude died, but like when I saw him from a standing position to a non-standing
amount of blood.
position, and then what would happen to him, it was just like it was really weird. I mean, not like I saw his soul exit his body or something, but when you saw in a split second someone living and then no longer living, it's just such a crazy fucking thing.
Yeah, like that
Seconds.
scene in The Sixth Sense where they're in traffic and they're wondering like somebody had gotten hit on the bike. And the mom was just like, I wonder if she's okay. And Haley Joel Osment's like, no, she died. It's like the body
Yeah.
walked by.
And the
car.
ghost is right there. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's just. I wrestle because like all of that winds up like when you talk about ghosts, then you're talking about the afterlife, and then if you're talking about seeing ghosts, then are you acknowledging that there is an afterlife, and then do you base a religion on that? And it winds up being such a crazy situation because there's things that you're told in life, and then you have your experiences, and they don't jive, or at least in my case, things that I was told, or early on in life, whether it would be religion or something like that, and then my experiences, everything that I've ever been told in life and everything I've ever experienced in life have never jived, have never been what is. And even right now, I feel lost because I'm in my 50s and I have no idea whether there is actually a God or not, or whether we are seeds of aliens or whatever. And quite frankly, what really gets me is like, and which brings up so many other questions on top of that, but like the simulation, do you believe in simulation?
Sometimes, because I had just...
Do you believe in simulation?
Well, I had just read all this stuff about homeless people, and then y'all been talking about homeless people. So
Sure.
I was like, like shit like
it's
that.
The
where
algorithm.
It's, like,
it's the algorithm.
Interesting.
Yeah. But like here lately, like everything really seems like the simulation theory seems to be the most plausible thing when you like all the different things that people throwing at me. But then like if you're there, okay, so this is the simulation. Then what came before the simulation? It's still the chicken and the egg bullshit.
Something created
It
the
doesn't
simulation.
exactly right. And so you're still in that conundrum. But again, it's just like
I think right before you die, you want something to be there.
this is why I think that we're in the simulation is because everything growing up was in its infancy, technology, whatever else. And then as I'm like war, even like when I was born in the Cold War, I was born during the Nixon administration. As things are going on now, especially with nuclear war and the fact that we're now back into this 2 minutes to midnight like we were back in the 80s, it's one of those things where like I'm seeing the things that I was scared of. If you would have showed me the shit that Elon Musk is doing now.
Oh, them robots he's about to.
There's
going to be one in everybody's fucking house.
That's next year.
I don't like it.
That's the thing that I was really scared of as a kid and thought that would never happen.
There's
And
been
the
so many
fact
warning
that I'm
movies.
seeing it happen
we've-
now is what's really saying to me that this has to be a simulation. This is my personal simulation. But that would also mean that you're not real, you're not real, and you're not real. That this is a game that's being played where I'm the fucking avatar. Because everything that I feared as earliest back as I can remember is now coming to fruition now. To the point that I think my last days, I'm going to see those mushroom clouds. I'm going to see that robot apocalypse. I'm going to possibly even see the fucking zombie apocalypse after that. It's one of those things that, like, everything that I grew up fearing is now actually becoming reality to the point where in the next 20 years, when I do wind up passing, if I'm lucky to make it that long, I'm going to see everything that I've ever been scared of my whole entire life. I'm going to see the end game, and that's what really terrifies me now. Is seeing that end game, seeing that game over screen, because like to the point now
Game
where
over.
No,
He's gonna say
my personal game over scream. You know,
Yeah.
like I think that everything that I've feared, everything that I've experienced and lived through, I think that it's all culminating. Like everything that I saw that wasn't happening then, that is happening now. And then when you come to the very end of it, of my fucking life, is my end game is going to be the mushroom clouds and the fucking iRobot and all that other shit. Like I fear the next 20 years so badly because not from dying. I know I'm going to die. I don't fear that. I thought I was going to die in my 40s.
It's crazy that we've gotten to a point in the future where there feels like there really is no future. It's crazy.
I feel,
It's like
so
a lot of people living that
when I
way.
saw the Terminator didn't scare me. Like that at that point was still fiction. That was
Yeah, in the
1982.
'80s, but the Terminator is about to be real here soon.
When I saw in 1984 a movie called Electric Dreams, where it was just a regular schmo who wound up having his own bout with AI, and then that AI got loose, and that AI, as it was befriending this guy, he was teaching him the arts and music and all this other stuff, and then it was exactly what we're doing now, and then it was unleashed, and it was like, that is what scared me, because that was more realistic. But now we are back to that point where we are now in fucking Cyberdyne and Skynet and all that other bullshit. We're in that right now. What Elon Musk is doing right now, I'm going to get into a fucking rant, so I don't really want to do that, but
It's okay.
what we're doing right now is everything that I've ever was scared of as a kid, and seeing it evolve in my own lifetime, and everything that I've ever was worried about, or everything I've ever been interested in, everything I've ever experienced within my own lifetime, and then I'm afraid that I'm going to see the end game, in that end game screen, that everything I've ever been afraid of in my own lifetime, and that's what makes me think that I'm in my own personal simulation. Like, I am being played. I am playing the game that's been
Like a Truman
played
Show.
out for me to be played, and it's cinematic. It's not even to the
You
point
didn't
where
get to Oregon Trail and died halfway through dysentery.
if it was just Oregon Trail, I could deal with that, but it's not Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe that's why you haven't seen any ghosts, is because you're already afraid of so many other things?
I think that I'm
Ghost
tapped
Society,
into
we gotta fuck
my
with this one.
simulation just like you're tapped into your simulation. Nick is definitely tapped into his simulation
sir.
right now.
I like my
You're tapped into
simulation.
your simulation.
Woo!
Yeah.
Go Vols, baby!
But what if we get to a point where then it's like back to nature? Because that's always like at the end of the dystopia is where essentially you're back in nature.
If we're not in the simulation, then yes, it would be back to nature.
Oh, so let's say, so we got the yin and yang even within the fucking simulation there, right? Because it ain't like everybody's running around with smiles like in the Lego movie. Everything's awesome! And that's what they just say the whole time. Everything's awesome!
Well, there are NPCs. You ever just kind of randomly just walk up to somebody and say
Yeah,
hello?
I think they've met a few non-humans before, whether it's robot, NPC, alien,
There are some
Dexter,
people that are just
something.
not there.
They're just not. It's not there, man.
right.
Not
Right.
there.
And you wonder how
See
they
it.
made it that far in life not being there. And that makes you wonder, well,
Maybe they really even there.
maybe right, are they NPCs?
How did you drive here?
Exactly.
How did you get here?
Truman
Right.
Show kind of really fucked
What'd
a
you
lot
do?
of shit up. And technically now, like the way they got the satellites and all the shit and the Patriot Act, they can literally look at you anytime they want to through your house and all this stuff. That's one reason I've been reading into. That's one reason they got rid of lead paint. Lead paint blocks all that.
Exactly.
So that you throw in children are eating paint chips, you know. Nobody even questions, you know.
Dude,
Once you say it's hurting children, nobody even questions anything. So that's the reason why they're getting rid of
Then
lead
my
paint.
building is safe as fuck because every time I renew, I have to sign that page. It's like,
That says
yo,
it
They
there's
might not
lead
be able
up
to
in
see
here. I'm
you.
just
It
like, yo,
gets
there's lead up in
transmit-
here.
and then all the patents they have on things like
But also
just,
at the same
like
time-
things that can get inside your head,
Right.
sending sound waves and put messages. They can literally put messages in anybody's head right now and make them a Manchurian candidate.
Right.
Supposedly.
Well, they're even saying that with just like this thing about blue light coming out now, and that's a big thing about making you complacent and to be able to put
Well, you shouldn't be
thoughts into
staring
your
at
head.
screens all day, especially like
That's
that
true
close
too.
to your
You're
face.
staring into that portal.
Well, they're also talking about what,
It's
do you guys
a
remember
portal.
about 10 years where they banned regular incandescent bulbs and made you buy these like the new bulbs?
With the LEDs?
The
Okay, when they
LEDs.
came around.
I
yeah.
hate those when
Yeah.
I'm driving.
Yeah. It's like they ain't got the brights on, but it's fucking bright as shit.
That's right.
It's like I'd rather just go off to the shoulder, let you pass me.
Yeah,
It's like
just-
if you
I'm just gonna
blinded
wreck
me
in a
from
ditch
my-
now.
Yeah,
Fuck y'all.
just go ahead.
All right, Kate, what are your upcoming gigs?
I don't have any. I just recently got back into comedy because my best friend, I don't know if she's watching, but like shout out to her. She's up in Germany now. But these were my first 2 shows back. Was the
Is she going to invite you to Germany?
yes, I'm gonna go there in April.
Oh, yeah.
Talk.
Yeah, I guess
I've never been to Germany.
me neither.
I would love. Oh, Blauer.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
It's German. My parents got married in Germany, or they
Right.
met and got married there.
I've got a
Huh.
couple of stories
My
where.
wife's actually a Goubel.
Oh, okay.
It's a gobble over here, but she was
Gobble,
from
yeah.
the Goubels.
You bet.
Yeah.
Well, definitely let us know how that works out. Take some pictures.
Yes, sir. I will. I will. Hopefully, I can get booked between here and there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, been writing. Yeah. Can I have another shot before I?
Let's do another shot. I would
Yeah.
love
There
to
you
do
go.
another shot.
This is the first time we broke the bank this year. We've been drinking
The garbage whiskey.
Kentucky,
But we're doing
Kentucky
our
whiskey.
the
I wasn't
Kentucky
that bad
Derby.
on Wednesday.
Actually, I actually love the Kentucky Derby as
Is it Derby or Deluxe?
It's
it's
Kentucky
deluxe.
Oh.
But I think someone called it Kentucky Derby, and it just stuck. I like
Ah.
it. It just sounds great. The Kentucky Derby.
Kentucky Derby.
There you go. All right.
Potatoes.
Hey man, those are the chocolate days.
Hell.
That's like God came in your mouth.
I thought that was something different about
So you do believe in God this entire time?
I mean, if he came
Only
in
when
my
it's
mouth.
convenient to him.
Ah.
Cape flower,
Actually-
everybody.
There was a point that I was sick in the hospital, and the doctor ruled everything out. It's like, I don't know. We're going to give you an AIDS test just to find out. I prayed to God. I was like, please
No,
let it not be AIDS.
AIDS.
If it's not AIDS, I'll do anything.
Yeah. Then as soon as it wasn't AIDS, back
Yep.
to the saddle.
Exactly.
again.
Exactly. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, shit. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. He was on our Wednesday show. We got to sit down and pick his brain a little bit, but now he's here to perform for us. Ladies and gentlemen, Sean the Balloon Guy Hughes.
We definitely needed Kate in here between the two sets, going from serial killers to children's entertainer. We needed that buffer, right? All right. Still one the same. All right. I could tell you about some gigs you would think they were one and the same. Yes, for those of you who are watching out there, my name is Sean the Balloon Guy. Figured we'd bring some balloons. Is that all right? There you go. Check it out. Here you go, Rev, a Kia balloon. Take it home and put it together yourself. Now, this is something new I'm doing. I'm figuring I haven't done this for you before, so we're going to try this out. Hopefully this is in frame and that you guys can see this. Check this out. To let you know, this is what I learned to do when I was single and had no life. Some of you guys, no, it's not that. That's what Rev does. Okay. This right here, some of the people are out there watching right now thinking to themselves, there is no way he is married with doing that skill right there. But check it out. Balloon dog. Right there. Would you like this, Rev? Rev, you're not one of these MAGA people that are going to eat this, are you? Okay, good. He might eat it. It's okay. There you go. I did bring some more balloons in for this one. Just to let you know, is anybody dating right in here? Are you dating, Miss Kate? No, not dating? She's probably going to have, you're dating, because you probably, Nick has a better, easier time dating than me, because when I was Nick's age, I was actually a clown at birthday parties. True. Do you know how hard it is when a woman finds out that she wears more makeup than you, and you're not a part of a Nashville drag show? That's hard. I mean, this is what it was like. I'd be sitting there talking to a lady, and things would be going really well. And then she'd ask that horrible question. She'd go, so what do you do for a living? I'd be like, I dress as a clown and make balloon animals at birthday parties. And she'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, my friends are waiting. I got to go. And I'd be like, and those women that thought they might date me, yeah, after that, they felt like Donald Trump. Yeah, they definitely dodged a bullet. But to let you guys know, I am now married. I am the father of a 15-year-old, 14-year-old, and 13-year-old. Yes, according to my wife, I'm the only balloon artist that didn't know how to use latex the right way. I do a lot of gigs at churches. I actually just came from a church gig. And, you guys were talking about stuff that there are some things at churches I have a hard time believing in. Like you guys were talking about demon possession. I'm going to tell you this. I didn't know if that was real or not. Then I had a teenage daughter. Because they go from your baby girl to Beelzebub just like that. And I love my daughter more than life itself. But I'm afraid if she rolls her eyes at me one more time, I'm going to become Pentecostal and just lay hands on her. I swear I am. Let's face it, when you get a teenage daughter, they become Kamala Harris and you become the press because they will not talk to you. Oh, that went over great here. Okay. Okay, it's all good. There you go. It's up to you. If you feel that way, I affirm that. Okay. I do have other kids. I have a son with ADHD. Okay, let me give you some advice. Okay, I'm 55. If you ever get to be my age and you have a child with ADHD, don't put the ADHD medication next to the Viagra. Yeah, he couldn't pay attention at school all that day, but all the girls paid attention to him. I was like, yeah, that's my boy. Yeah. And the medication he has to take, it's an actually real medication. It's called methylphenidate. That's a real medication. Yeah, I can't spell methylphenidate. So when I had to put that on a school form, I just put meth for short. DHS visits you after that if you don't know. Well, if you want to do them too, that is okay. I affirm that. I like telling jokes about the news, not because I'm looking for the headlines, but I'm looking for the punchlines. Did you hear that Ron DeSantis is shipping all the migrants everywhere? But you notice he doesn't ship them to Nashville? You know why? Because if he ships us a bus full of migrants, we'd ship them a party bus full of bachelorettes. Yeah, they think a train is coming. It's just all those girls going, woo, woo! Yeah, woo! Any of you guys watching all the presidential stuff going on lately? Yeah. I feel that's like watching NASCAR. We're at the point we don't care who wins or who does well. We're just drinking beer and watching the wrecks. That's why I came up with this shirt right here. I figured anybody could be president, so I came up with this shirt right here. Check this out. Balloon Guy 24. He'll deal with inflation. That's my tagline right there. My name is Sean the Balloon Guy. You guys have a great one. I'm going to come over here to the couch.
Sean.
Sean,
Thank you,
if
sir.
only you would run for president.
If only I would run.
You're old enough to.
You ever
I
had,
was just, you're an old fart. You could be president. I mean, Donald's 70. You could be.
How much is the shirt, man?
How much is the shirt?
How much is the shirt?
How much did I pay for it? Or what am I
He hasn't put it up for
How much
sale
are you
for it.
selling the shirt for?
I did put a Zazzle thing up. I'll have to go.
you, man.
Zazzle?
Yeah, you know where Zazzle is?
No.
Zazzle is an online website where you can make custom things. Like you can make custom like shirts or a watch with a face of a picture on it, or even like lampshades.
Can we make
Cell
a
phone
dildo
case.
with Nick Weir's face on it?
That is my dream.
That's
Yeah,
your dream.
I heard it'd be a high seller.
We'll have to make one.
Who wants a little Nick in him?
Don't tell your girlfriend I said that. Okay.
That's all right.
Who wants a little Nick in him?
So, what have you ever had a like tough crowd at the church, like at a church or whatever?
You know what?
What
This
is a tough church crowd?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. This is actually a true story that happened today, and I actually had to go to the lady who hired me and tell them about this. Seriously, this happened today. There comes a time when you're doing balloons, you have to shut down the line. Because if not, you're going to be there. Sure. Yeah. You're going to be there. After this story, you're like, yeah, he'll need a double.
Nice. There we go.
You have to shut down the line. If not, you will be there all night.
Yeah.
Literally, there will people that and there will be no stopping. So you have your ways that you shut down the line, so that you let them know that this is the last one. I'm gonna take a shot after this story. You'll see why.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Wait. Okay. So this guy comes up to me, this old guy, like really old. He's standing there. You guys are in the back of the line. I'm like, I'm sorry, sir. We've closed off the line. The line's closed. If you don't have an orange ticket, which I hand out to make sure nobody cuts in line, we can't serve you. We were all done. We actually ended about 5 minutes ago. He comes up to me and he's like, where do you get the orange ticket? I'm like, we've given them all away. Sorry, you can't have another one. He was like, well, where do you get the orange ticket? I'm like, sir, there are no more. So he's like, you're not answering my question. I'm going to pull rank on you. I've been at this church 54 years.
Oh, God.
You don't understand. And I was like, I don't care. That's what I literally said to this guy.
To the elder of the church.
To the elder of the church. He could be an elder for all I know. And so finally he was like, where do they get the tickets from? If you just shut up and listen to me answer my question. I was like, they came from me.
That's rude.
And he was like, yeah, he was very rude. Even there were other people around me that was like, that dude was rude. And he was like, okay, that's what I needed to know. And so then he walked away. And so I had to go to my boss and say, to let you know this happened. Let's say if I got fired over that job, if that church never called me again, I'd have 5 other people lined up this time of year because this is my busy time of year. Which why I come on this show like during my busiest time of year. Sure. Because I did the same thing last year. I think I was like literally finishing gigs and then come on your show. Mm-hmm. So right here for dealing with that was my church story for the day right there.
Dude,
but they can
not
easily.
every church is the same. Some are easier, some are.
This is true.
Right.
This is true.
So what churches?
And not to say that this church was a bad church. It was just. You know, it's like
one rotten egg.
It was just one rotten egg. Like you wouldn't say, like if you insert ethnicity, you know, experience with that person, you wouldn't say all the people of that ethnicity were bad people. You would say that would be that one person. Unless they're Sicilian, then we hate all of them. But you know, other than that,
fucking all of motherfuckers.
All of them, we don't like them.
So what denominations are these churches?
I won't go into details. I am not going to go into details.
Okay.
You could insert any denomination into that as far as like, there's not a particular dominant denomination that's worse than another denomination. Every church, well, okay, you could have that argument. Who said that right there?
Ralphie.
That was a spirit right there. Okay, no, there's not one particular church that's bad. Even though I have had experience with different churches, there was one in particular where I was like, I was scheduled to be, I had a bad experience with them in the summer. There was somebody that wrote on my Sean the Balloon Guy Facebook page a complaint going like, you owe me an apology, and if not publicly, you just owe one to me, where I just, okay, block. And I sent that message to the guy who hired me, and I was like, I am not coming back because I can book this gig 5 times over.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because the way they said, and I sent them a copy of what they sent to me. That guy actually called me back and said, hey, this wasn't a representation of our church. Can you know, we really want you back because we really like you. And I did go back and do the gig. But
you ever had to do a jail gig?
I am doing one in November.
No shit.
I kid you not.
I just thought of like the most random place the balloon guy, Sean the Balloon Guy, could be.
I am going to a women's prison.
Oh, dude. There's only one thing they're going to want. Only one kind of
well,
balloon. All you got to do is go.
No, it's actually a family thing where they bring in their families and stuff like that. In jail. Well, it's a controlled thing. It's like a family day. And it's sponsored by a church. Yeah. And it's it's a huge process. I have not done this gig before.
Churches help the homeless, the poor, the jailed. You know?
Yeah, that's one of the things they do. Does. But it's like I have to get there especially early, and there are like all kinds of rules, like your cell phone, you have to leave it in your car.
Oh, they're gonna check you.
You can bring your watch.
Nothing in.
Yeah, and there are things like
so they don't want you recording.
No, they don't want you to lose your phone and somebody get a hold of it where they could use it to contact people outside or use it for something nefarious. Right. Like, I carry this with me during gigs where I cut balloons. It's just a letter opener on a badge pull I keep on my... It's like, can I take that in, or is that going to have to be like, no, can't bring that in? It's a possibility.
They can just break that off, and then they got
And they got a knife. They literally have a sharp blade. So that's probably going to be one of those things they're going to have to go, yeah, you're going to have to leave that out. So.
Wow. Wow.
But to answer your question, yes, I am doing a women's
That is
prison
crazy.
gig.
Well, I mean, maybe that opens a new door.
Have you ever feared for your life on a gig?
There have been some people who have been mad.
But you're a fun balloon guy. How do they get fucking mad?
Because I have people that are like, my kid wants a balloon, and if you don't want me a balloon, I'm going to you. And
wow.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that radical depending on the gig.
Like they want like a physical balloon, like
like a physical balloon.
Yeah,
like their kid's there, and they're going to do something if they don't. Which normally there's somebody around where I could say, okay, I'm gonna let you talk to these people.
Oh.
And there's, if it's in that type of environment, there's like, even at the church gig tonight, because it was a church gig and the public was invited, they had police there. So if something went wrong, I could say, officer, I need your help over here. And they would be like, you out. So.
Wow. So, obviously people have had to have like hit you up, be like, come on, man, I'll give you $10, just make me one for my kid, or come on.
That answer's no. I'm sorry, I can't do that.
Once balloon time's up, balloon time's up.
Yeah, well, because if you do that, that looks really bad at a church event, especially when they're offering. They pay me a lot of money, and they do it so it doesn't look good for you.
So they don't want you making no tips like that.
They don't want me to make it like a side hustle.
Yeah,
and in some things, if
you gotta be professional.
Like, for example, I used to do Rivergate Mall. It's now going down the tubes. I don't know if you've heard that or not.
It's horrible.
It's horrible. They're like closing it up and stuff. I used to do gigs for them, and people would offer that, and I was like, that would make me a vendor here in the mall. I don't have a contract with them. It would get me in trouble with the mall by selling something by not being a vendor and paying to be there.
It's easier just for you to just go in and do your shtick rather than just doing all the extra stuff too, right?
What do you mean the stick?
Well, I mean, not the shtick, but your act.
Yes, it's where I come in and I make balloons and I do shtick while I'm saying, and I make balloon animals for people.
Right.
But as far as being somebody who sells it, that's not normally a very profitable in a situation I want to be
No,
in.
I mean at shows afterward, like after you're leaving, people trying to come up and harass you for balloons and offering.
And there's exception to the rules depending on what type of event it is.
Okay.
There's like.
I'm all for you hustling, man.
And there's some exceptions you make because you go like, for like little kids, sometimes you'll make something like a simpler dog than that and just give it out. Yeah. Because when you're in it, like for example, sometimes my Chick-fil-A's, I'll do that. Yeah. Because when you don't do that,
Chick-fil-A's.
Yeah, because I do Chick-fil-A's.
No shit.
Yeah, I have about 4 of them. I do. Yeah, 4 different Chick-fil-A's.
Regularly.
How many balloon days do you like? How many shows do you do in a day?
All right.
Okay.
How much? All right. What is your cost per balloon? Like, if you had when you came in Wednesday and you had your like balloon cart, like each balloon, what is the dollar amount per balloon? Like someone wanted something.
Are you talking my base count or what I would charge somebody?
What does this cost? Like, I came and I wanted you to make me a poodle. How much does a poodle cost?
Are you talking based or what I would charge someone?
What would you charge someone?
I charge an hourly rate depends on what I do. And it varies between what I do. Like when you work for an agent, you're making less money.
Sure.
When you're doing a weekly restaurant that's during the week and it's not
without the agent.
Without the agent, when you're doing a weekly restaurant, or a monthly restaurant, that tends to be a lower amount.
Really?
Because it's not during your prime time. Like my prime times for me are Friday, Saturday, Sundays.
Do you make more money with the agent?
I make less money with an agent.
Right.
You make more money working for you.
Do you do any free? I was gonna say, so your freelance stuff. Do you do anything freelance other than you're gonna do a podcast, obviously, but like beyond a podcast, like say like a church hired you for freelance without the agent.
I work most of the time. Most of the gigs I work are for me.
Okay.
As compared for agent, I could actually. There's something I'm working on this week. Where I actually take a spreadsheet and break it down demographically as far as like the number of times I work, percentage of a year that I work for an agent, percentage of people who've seen me at another gig and call me again, the people who call me again year after year. I can give you the 2023 statistics, but I can't give you this year because I haven't finished them out yet. I was working on it this week.
So I mean, but how often are you booked? We're talking 2 or 3 shows a day on a Friday.
No, it depends on the time of the year. Friday is not my big day. Normally, if I do a Friday, it's 1. Today I was doing 3 gigs before this.
Yeah.
It depends on the time of the year. January is a really slow day. This is my peak season.
But you're supporting yourself.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the good
That's
thing.
the main thing.
Like to be able to do what you love to do, and then be able.
So,
all right,
do you love it or
Go ahead.
Go ahead. We didn't get into this Wednesday, and
We
this
did.
is
Go
something-
ahead.
This is something I really kicked myself because I didn't get to the Sean. First of all, is
You know how
Kelsey
many
Dixon
balloon
here?
questions I would have asked
He's
on
not
Wednesday?
here.
Kelsey's not here. Okay. All right,
Kate
so we
Deal
never
was
got
Here earlier?
Well, he was here. I live with him, so I mean, I was gonna bring.
Oh,
him.
I didn't know Kelsey lived here.
Yeah. So, all right. So, like, we never got into like your origin story. Like, what got you into balloons?
Okay. Something are you a national native?
Columbia, South
Columbia.
Columbia.
Okay, no, that's close enough.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
Tennessee native. Yeah.
that's Tennessee native. That works. I used to work in the old Opryland theme park.
Okay.
when it was
yeah,
around.
I remember. Yeah, I
There you
remember
go. I knew you guys. You guys would know it because
Yeah,
you
we've
guys
been
are
there, yeah.
all of us are natives here, somewhat. And then I was working in a magic shop back in late 80s, early 90s, something like that. And I was working in a little magic shop, and the guy who owned the magic shop, who ran the magic shop, now I like to do cool and different things, gave me a book and a bag of balloons and said, "You learn how to do this. This would be really good for you." And I really liked it. And then kept on
Holy
doing
shit.
it more
Nice.
and more of it until finally it was like, kept on as like, okay, well, we'll give you money to do this. I'm like, okay. And then, more and more, and things grew, and I've done some really cool gigs because of that. Like, twist my
There you
arm.
go.
Okay.
Do you still push the boundary on trying to learn new balloon tricks of things to make?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
So it's always
salute.
So it's
Salute.
constantly evolving. Like
Oh, yeah.
That's cool. What do you consider some of your iconic things that you personally came up with that you make out of balloons?
Gosh, and it's horrible that we don't have it where we could put it on the screen for people.
Right.
But I could show you a picture, and I could show you mine on my phone.
do it in clips.
But I made Rocket from Guardians of the Galaxy that was a really super cool balloon. Even I was like, okay, this is pretty cool.
This is fucking awesome.
This is pretty. Let me see if I can bring that up real quick. Go ahead and somebody talk while I
Yeah.
bring this up
Send-
here.
Send it to Rev and we can put it in a clip or
Absolutely.
Nick, have you ever made a balloon? Have you ever done a balloon animal?
No, I've never made a balloon animal.
Never made a balloon. Sloan, have you ever made a
I've
balloon?
only made water balloons.
I remember
Water
clowns. I remember a clown one time making me something like a
Are
little
you
dog.
afraid of clowns?
I've
Yeah,
gotten tons of
Yeah, I didn't
balloons
much care
from
for
Sean.
clowns ever
Yeah.
since it.
Always.
Always, yeah.
I never had a affinity for clowns, but I've never been afraid of them. Nick, are you afraid of clowns?
Depends on the
Balloons.
clown. I think some of them are freaky.
Jack,
You know.
are you afraid of clowns?
I think so.
Are you?
I mean, I think.
The one guy would probably be Jack, who's afraid of clowns.
I mean, I think I have just like a sensible, like rational fear, but not like not like super scared.
But that's like a guy behind a mask, though,
TV
right?
got
Yeah.
me, dude. It was simple as it.
Yeah.
Tim Curry
Oh,
did
yeah.
such a fucking good job.
He did.
That's a good
He
point.
did such a good
Oh
job.
yes. I actually had a wig that was like that because I seriously did clowning before I just went without the makeup, and I had a wig that was like that. And after that movie came out, I was like, nope. See you later.
Yeah, I'm losing business.
Well, do you guys remember about 4 or 5 years ago, there was a rash of clowns that were just walking like people's
Well,
neighborhoods?
when they came out
Right.
with the remake of It,
Was
people-
that
was
it?
it was kind of
Oh,
a
wow.
publicity stuff.
He made Rocket. Straight up.
Wow, that's insane.
I'm sorry that you can't see this right now. I'm sending this to Rev
Send
right
it to
now.
me, and I'll put it in a clip.
All right.
That is good.
How long did that take to do that?
I have a restaurant that I do on Tuesdays in Mount Juliet, which is the reason why I do that restaurant. It's a low-paying restaurant, and it has those slow moments, but it's literally just a 6.5 mile round trip from my house.
Local gig.
And so that's a local gig. So it's not that great of money as compared to my other restaurant gigs. As a matter of fact, it could be as much as half of what I make on my regular gigs, but it's, 6.5 miles from my house. So there are dead times. And so I was playing because I had made that raccoon at one point, and I was like, what it would be like if we put it on a Rocket. So I pulled up a picture of Rocket and then started playing with it and then came up with that.
That's pretty fucking talented.
Go ahead.
How long did it take?
Oh, gosh, maybe a half hour or so. But then the first time. So that's always going to take longer the first time as compared to if you replicate it.
All right.
I got it's on the tip of my tongue. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Do you have any rivals, arch nemesis in the balloon game?
I don't. We don't.
Come on,
okay.
man, tell the truth.
Good question.
Balloon drama.
We don't necessarily. I don't like the whole Highlander thing, where it's like there can only be one.
Yeah.
That
And
doesn't mean your competition don't think that.
no, there's all. Oh yeah. But I don't act that way. I never liked that way.
Yeah.
So there are people in the. There are definitely other people in this industry that are really good, that are even teach at conventions and stuff like that. Super talented guy. As a balloon artist, I try to focus on what am I good at, what are my strengths, and go from there. And this is something that you have to realize no matter what industry you're in, the pie is always growing and it's always bigger.
Yeah.
So let's say there are 6 of us really talented balloon artists in Nashville, in Middle Tennessee. Do you know
It's a lot of opportunities.
there's a lot of opportunity still for everybody. And I try to be very generous where, if I don't have a gig, I give it to somebody else. And hopefully if they don't have a gig, they give it to me. I tend to give more than I get, which is okay because I got my start by people giving me a lot. So
Yeah. So I mean, have you ever actually ran into them? Say they double book somehow. Hey,
only
get
once.
a balloon guy, and they had 2 people got the balloon guy.
Only
you know
once.
what I mean?
Where do they double book?
Yeah.
Dueling balloon, balloon guys.
Yeah, dual balloon.
Dueling balloon
This
guys.
is what helped me out is that I am very big on having contracts because it's a business as well.
Exactly. If
And
you're
so
gonna
you
run
have
it,
to
you
have the
to.
contract and the things that you do where you collect the
You got to
The-
guarantee pay.
you got to guarantee pay, and you don't do a deposit because deposits are refundable. But what I have is a cancellation fee in my contract, where if they cancel within so many days, they owe me 50% of what they do.
That's right.
That's how you get around that.
How many people have canceled?
There are people who do cancel. Sometimes for, for example, when Hurricane was it Aline? One of the one of the hurricanes, the first of the 2 hurricanes that we've had
Aline,
recently.
yeah.
Aline. I had a gig that canceled on me, and they were pissed.
Oh.
But this is the thing: when you go through my contract online, you have to click a thing that says, "I agree to all the terms of the contract." And I agree, and I will abide by those terms. Well, the term says if your event cancels, you owe me a cancellation fee. They
50%.
They were 50%, and they paid the 50% because I had their credit card information. They because that's what I collect that information.
He's has to pull
It's
out
a business.
Real guns.
But they were pissed. This is the thing, though. This was a neighborhood where the houses were for the neighborhood. They wouldn't look that great, but they were $1.5 million houses.
Yeah, it's just rich.
In the West End area.
Yeah, rich.
Wow.
So they were, even though they canceled, and they were like, "We will never call you again." I'm like, "Great,
Well,
fine. You agreed to the contract. You're mad at yourself."
Yeah.
And with those agreements, they always go. The person who books the event is somebody will someone else will get that job eventually down the line, and they may call me. And the only thing I did differently is after that is also when if they say it's an inside gig, outside gig, or possibly both, in the description I put, this is an outside gig. Know that you will possibly play 50%. So that's that extra thing that lets them know if it rains out or something like that, and you cancel your event, there's a possible 50%. See contract below for details. Because it's a business too, and you have to treat it like a
hell
business.
yeah, dude.
like anything that has, like, say when the local fair comes to town, did you ever actually set up a booth and try to?
No.
Okay, you ain't worried about small potatoes like
No,
that?
it's not necessarily small potatoes, but it's just.
The Carney has its own thing going on, probably. Then.
Yeah, and there are people that do that, and the funny thing is, even for the Tennessee State Fair, because I went there because my daughter was playing band there, and they had somebody doing that stuff. They got somebody from out of town for whatever reason, and they traveled in, and I'm like, okay, you could have probably gotten somebody locally at a better deal, but
much less.
Yeah.
that's what they decided to do, and okay.
So how far have you actually took this show? Are you just focused on the Middle Tennessee, or
Most of my work is in Middle Tennessee. I've done some other gigs. I've done Armed Forces Entertainment at one point where I got to go to other countries.
That's pretty cool.
Before the pandemic, I had the guy who did the Nashville Boat Club here in, it's now called the Nautical Boat Club, where you rent a boat. You just, you don't necessarily, you buy a club membership and then you just rent a boat once a month or however many they allow it in the membership.
It's like what do they call those? The vacation thing, timeshare for boats.
It's kind of like it, but
Boat timeshare.
it's much better than actually owning a boat because you
Well,
don't
yeah.
have to do any of the maintenance. You don't have to do any of the stuff. You just and cost wise, it actually works better. And I am that billboard because I've worked with them enough, and I could actually spout that stuff. But the guy had a thing in. Owns a franchise in Nashville, but he also owned one in Atlanta, and they were having a boat show in Atlanta, and they were like, "Can we pay to go to Atlanta?" I'm like, "Yeah,
You can, but this is
you
how
can."
much it will
And they were
be.
like, "Great, let's make it work." So I drove to Atlanta before the pandemic and did the twist my arm. I did the. Can you pour okay?
I'm trying. I think I
couldn't
You got it. You're good, sir.
He got Drew Davis to take a shot. I couldn't believe it.
Salute.
Man.
I got Drew Davis drunk.
You did?
I did.
I wish I was
This is
here
way
for that.
before his meth addiction too.
Oh, wow.
Way
It's
before
a
the
joke.
math.
He
It was
doesn't
a
have a
while
meth
ago.
addiction.
He really does.
He ain't lost 1 pound, sir.
And he's the head of the Clean Comedy Collective. Okay.
Yes.
We love Drew.
No, I love Drew too.
He gets stinky sometimes. It
How do
just,
you mean
know,
stinky?
He got a little
That's a
stinky.
John Dollar quote.
John Dollar quote. Okay.
We just want to summon him back to the show.
John.
Drew, he just finished up on the quarter mile, man. It's fucking, I
Yeah.
like it. It's pretty cool stuff.
Have you watched it?
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I watched a bunch of the little clips and stuff.
I've got to watch the recaps because supposedly he mentions my son, my oldest son, because my oldest son
Is he
is
in the Fast and Furious?
he's not only I think it's mostly because he's a Drew Davis fan.
Oh yeah, he's
Well, because I
he's
could
his
bring
number one
he
fan.
really is. Because I could bring him to the clean stuff.
Exactly.
And Drew's there a lot, and so he thinks Drew is great. So his dad's okay, but Drew is great. So, you know.
That reminds me of the Chappelle talking about his son wanting to go see Kevin Hart.
That's true.
He's like, man, don't you know who your fucking daddy is?
That's true.
He's like, yeah, you're all right, all, but you ain't no Kevin Hart.
But that's the way it is when you live with them all the time.
You're not going to look at your
You're
parents.
not. You don't know. It's like,
So I remember that one time you grounded me, so you're definitely not.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
But I live in Mount Juliet, Tennessee. Okay, for those of you who know Mount Juliet, Tennessee, there's another like super uber talented who's actually a good friend of mine, Anthony the Balloon Kid. You can look him up on the internet. Oh, he does amazing stuff. He makes my stuff look like crap.
Is he a balloon guy
Really?
too?
He's a balloon guy too,
And he's like right there.
and he's right there in my neighborhood.
And
We both live
who
in
is
the-
he?
Huh?
Who is he?
I've never
He's
heard
called
of him.
Anthony the Balloon Kid.
Anthony the
Okay.
Balloon
Like
Kid.
he's done like major stuff. He does this great. But he's a great guy, and we're not necessarily in competition because there's enough for all of us. We're friends.
How many balloon guys are there on the scene?
Oh gosh, I'd have to go back and count. There's at least like 6. Are you talking about the good people or just balloon
Just
people?
on
good
the
ones.
scene.
The-
Just
the
all
big
right, the
leagues.
good
The
ones.
big
Like,
good
How many
ones?
good
Yeah.
ones are on the scene? Like how many
Yeah.
competition balloon artists
Oh,
are
gosh.
there?
I'd have to get out my phone and look at the list. And what did I do with my phone? It's right here.
I can't believe you ain't had
yeah.
beef with at least one of them. Or
No
one of
beef
them at
with
least
any
being
There
balloon
is
nice to
artist.
you.
There's probably
There
beef
is.
with me. There. Let's say this. There are people I would rather not work with, and I won't give out names because there was one time I was working a gig with another balloon artist, and all they could do was make fun of how old I was, like the whole time. Now, literally,
like younger.
this guy was like just a few years younger than me, probably the same age as you, Rev.
Okay.
So there wasn't a huge difference between us.
Right.
But it was a thing where, you know, his own personal insecurity where he kept making, and it was like, okay, that was funny. And then after a while, it was like, okay, this is not funny anymore. It was just, you're being.
It's okay to poke once when you keep jabbing. It's
But
like,
when you
shut
keep
the fuck
jabbing
up.
over and
Yeah,
over
it's-
again, it's just like, okay, you're being a jerk now.
Yep.
So I
Oh,
literally,
fuck
the
that
next time
guy.
we were working together, it's like, okay, I'll do this gig, but you have to put me separate from him. Like, we cannot work in the same space together. And they were like, okay. And then the next year they were like,
Have
this
you ever
agent.
have you ever had a balloon off? Have you ever had like
No.
a balloon off
Because
like you
it's-
and another balloon guy just blew me off?
Anything you can do, I can do
balloon
better.
off.
You know what? There is that. I'm not the best balloon artist
Can
around.
we have a balloon off? Can we have Sean Hughes?
We gotta look up
But,
all
but
his
there are
competition.
things.
Do we need
But
to
there are
find a
things
balloon
that make
artist and book him?
there are things that make me stand out, like the fact that I humor, my humor, the fact that I can, that's things that
That's
people
true.
like. Where even though they don't go, hey, this guy's better than you, they were like, he's funny. I really like watching him. I want, that's where I think I went out where I'm entertaining.
It would be kind of boring to watch a balloon guy that wasn't funny.
Oh, there are those
You know
out
what I
there
mean? Like,
where they just sit there and they make their thing and go, here you go.
I don't
They
want
make their
the
thing,
Bob
here you
Ross,
go.
the balloon guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just
Bob
sort of
Ross
happy
was more
accident.
entertaining than some of these people.
I
Let's
love
be
Bob
real.
Ross, but not Balloon World.
But like, there's a lot of clowns that do balloon shit, and they're
Yeah,
just doing the balloon
yeah.
animals.
Yeah.
Man,
So I can see that.
we had that guy dressed up as a mime showing up at like open mics around town.
Seriously?
We got
Yeah.
a mime
Where
fight?
was I?
About time.
Did you not book him for the show?
Never. No,
That'd be a
I
great
never
show.
talked to him. I never talked to him.
He's a mime. Of course you didn't talk to him.
Yeah. I
Sorry.
didn't.
He's not going to talk to you.
I had heard about him going to different mics like Third Coast and the East Room and such, and he would just show up and like hide behind corners and stuff. He
Oh, I love him so much already.
He showed
Yeah,
up
right.
to Love and Exile once.
Wait. What was he skulking the comedy shows?
Yeah. So like
Was
we
this guy just like
He's like-
slinky?
look at
Why
that.
have I never
Yeah.
seen this guy?
it was one
Who
of
is
the
he?
nights.
What is his name?
It was one of the nights at Love and Exile when we
What
were
is
doing it
his name?
outside. On
Yes.
on the outside.
What
patio.
is his name?
I don't know. Like,
He's a mime. You've got to create a name, and then it's got to spread, and it just.
If you
Been
wanted
5
to
hours,
check,
I gotta piss.
if
I'm
you
gonna-
wanted to check, he
going.
did post it. He did post once in our Facebook group. I forget if it was the I think it was the Comedy Fans page. He said like a thank you or something on there. But yeah, I mean,
How
he was
does
just a full guy
mime work
dressed as
with
a mime.
stand-up comedy?
I never saw him go up, but
I guess it
think
doesn't.
he may have at one of the other
Now-
mics or something.
Taken for granted, there's supposedly a mime. If you ever go to, what's the aquatic park in Orlando?
I've seen those videos.
SeaWorld.
Oh, SeaWorld.
I've seen that mime.
SeaWorld. And
That dude
Really?
is good.
the guy that's there, he is supposedly really funny
Really?
and like has a really great contract, and they've kind of like made it more of a, if I'm correct, I could be wrong, where it's more of a character that now SeaWorld controls,
Oh.
that they can put anybody in that spot.
Makes sense.
But
I've seen the same guy though, because
It could be.
There'll be the people just walking to get seated, and he'll follow them and like just be
Yeah.
mocking them and shit. People taking pictures, he'll just go over there and be like, it just he's hilarious.
he is.
I've seen it.
And
Like,
that-
it's on the reels when you're going
But
through reels on Facebook. I've seen him.
But it's not a stand-up comedy thing, which makes me
No.
go, why would a mime want to go to the stand-up comedy?
Exactly.
Because it just doesn't.
yeah.
I don't see that.
You got to be able to
working.
talk to do stand-up
very-
comedy.
Absolutely.
And mimes can't talk, so it's
They
kind of
can't.
like a negative.
But
it's
when
like,
they have that audience interaction type thing, that's where I could see it working. Like at SeaWorld.
Now, if you had a comic up there and then the mime down here mocking him the whole time, I think it could make. I think it'd be. That could be hilarious.
That could be hilarious.
That could be fucking hilarious. Especially if it's like some sort of like, you know, you got like almost like a Kill Tony type scenario where you got 3 minutes or 2 minutes to give your best stuff. I mean, oh well. Anyways.
It was just a weird situation.
Yeah.
Like he never even came into Love and Exile like all the way. He just stuck his head into the like
I think it's hilarious.
hallway.
Wow.
You know, the like
That's
the
full
little
on
doorway in the
dedication.
front.
It really is.
Yeah.
I'm like, why not get in there? It's just,
Yeah. Why not?
I don't know. We've had our interesting people on the scene, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. We have. There's some very odd people.
What is your craziest request for a balloon effigy?
Angry tornado.
Angry tornado.
There was a kid one time that wanted an angry tornado, and we made it.
What does an angry tornado look like?
Well, I don't have any of my markers with me because I took my shirt out, but this is something that I do. I left my markers in my car, but check this out. I messed up the nozzle on this. That makes it hard. What you do is you take this, you wrap it around your finger, just like so, and hopefully I can do this because I messed up the nozzle on this one. Check it out.
The nozzle meaning the very first?
Oh wow! Whoa! Oh shit!
And we put an angry face on it right there, and that was the angry tornado.
Angry tornado.
And the kid was like,
A Sharpie.
the kid was like, "Do you have one?" There we go. Let's do an angry tornado
an
right
angry
there.
tornado.
Angry tornado.
Can we name a drink
Brown
after
marker. That is all totally up to you, sir. But
How
this
many
is
more
what I
balloons
did
do
right
you have
here.
in
Let's
your
Hold
have
on.
a drink of Crown Royal and whatever Ultra you're working with.
Trying to be low carb. Sorry, sir.
No, it's okay. We're almost done with that. Here,
Check it out.
No, that's great.
Oh, sorry. Is this
Pour-
mine? I
pour
don't
a
know
little
what
bit.
mine is.
An angry tornado.
All right, now,
That's an angry tornado right there that I made for
pour
the
me
kid.
a little bit of your Ultra in that.
Okay, there we go.
Little Ultra.
Hopefully no backwash.
It's okay.
All right,
it's
there we
alcohol.
go.
Pour a little bit in yours. Now, this is the angry
This is
tornado.
the angry tornado right there.
All right.
Okay.
Crown with M.
It's gonna be so horrible.
Michelob Ultra. Remind me some of that shit Hollywood Gibson tried to make for whatever.
Oh, the aneurysm.
Yeah, the aneurysm.
Are you okay, Rev? I'm just like,
I'm not.
somebody call 911. Okay.
Yes, they should have called it a long time ago.
Yeah.
But anyway,
That was great.
that was my, when people ask me what's my weirdest request, I'm like, that's my weirdest request right there.
Angry tornado.
I have a pocket full of scraps, broken scraps in this pocket. That's why I wear cargo pants.
Have you
What
ever?
do you do with the scraps?
Toss them away at the end of the night.
He's got a scrap box. No,
I know balloon artists that keep the scraps.
no shit.
Really?
And like, there's one balloon artist friend of mine who I love dearly. Love dearly. But he has so many scraps. It's like hoarding, an episode of Hoarding.
Oh my god.
And where it's just, and anybody in the balloon world who would be watching this right now would be like, it's, and they would probably be right. Don't ask me why, but
To justify it.
to justify it. But he had these like tubs full of scraps that he kept everywhere.
Latex
Scraps that he would take
Damn.
and eventually do stuff with, but not enough to make it work. Like, you didn't need this many scraps.
Yeah.
Recycle it?
Does he keep his
Yeah, like,
toenails
why
too?
can't
I
you
don't
recycle
know. It's more information than I ever asked him. We're friends, but that's a little bit too
Yeah.
much right there.
Holy
I did a great
shit.
job, man.
Dude. I don't even know where to go from
It's
there.
like we went from like serial killers to my stuff. It's really
It's been a
just
ride, man.
that's a wild ride right there.
Like, I had other stories, but, like, at this point, I'm so intoxicated. Like, where's the camera? There's the camera. Yes.
There's the camera.
Do we have another October show? Do we have a Wednesday show?
Mm-hmm.
Because I've got some
The
stories.
30th.
On the 30th?
The day before.
All right, that's good. I'll save the stories for then. So stay tuned for our Wednesday show on the 30th. And Like I've got stories that I've never like told people, and so tonight was really kind of cool to be able to tell that one story that
Jesus Christ.
I have never told.
You
that story.
inspired.
That's a pretty intense story. I'm not gonna lie.
You inspired a man over there.
An American Horror Story
Turn
episode.
it into a book and a movie, man.
I'll let him because like it's like there's like other stuff to that. Like there's levels to that. Like when you've lived a lifetime and you can like tell someone a story and like it has resonance to it. You're like, oh, fuck.
Agreed.
Yeah. So anyway, we've got such a great solo artist coming up. Tim Grogan. I am so fucked up, man.
You're getting there.
No, that's great. What time is it? So I have some.
It will be 9:57.
It's 9:57. So, ladies and gentlemen, I really hope that you've enjoyed our 5-year anniversary. If you have not fucking
Fuck off.
if you've not subscribed, please take this time to just a second to hit the button. Just one little button, and then you're subscribed, and you get notifications, and then like, this isn't the only show that we have. We have other shows. We have a show that you've never even seen before that's just in the works. That's just about to hit you in the fucking face. But like, if you speak Spanish, we have a Spanish show. If you like to drink, we have a drinking show. If you like comedy, we have a comedy show. If you like podcasts, we have a podcast show. We have so many things. All you have to do is subscribe. See someone right there subscribed. That's all it takes. That's all it takes.
I want to know what show is not a drinking show, because every show I've been on
Is a
drinking show.
I will lie to you if I said that every show wasn't
actually a drinking show.
There's gonna be some drinking.
My problem is that my boys don't drink with me anymore. That's the only
that's
problem
true.
I have.
But I don't think I've ever drank on this show.
Really? Not
Or did I used to?
So your
He came
first
with the liquid
appearance.
death.
It was my first appearance.
Liquid death. Your first appearance with us. Did you drink?
I don't remember.
I think you did.
I think
I have
you
to
did.
see what year it was.
That's
You
when he
stopped
did his
or
tattoo
after you
joke
stopped?
back then.
Right.
Because I got sober
You remember so many
in
of
April,
everybody's shit.
not April,
it's
February of
insane how much
22.
shit you remember of everybody's.
And I don't remember. Did I do your show in 2021?
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
then
so
I was
yeah, he was
drinking.
probably
then,
drinking
yeah.
then,
You were
yes.
drinking.
Then I
So,
was drinking.
Like
then.
we had a Fat Nick episode.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back. I'm not going to, but I would have
That's
to
like
go
40
back.
pounds ago, man.
Yeah.
He lost a
It was
lot
a while
of weight.
ago.
He just kept coming. I'm like, dude, are you losing weight? Are you okay?
And
Are
his
you on
hair-
AIDS?
his hair-
I understand that, because when I was losing weight before the pandemic, people would go like, "Are you okay? Are you just?"
Is there something wrong, man?
That's what they'd ask.
It's like, yeah, I'm fine.
Everybody
I just eat
looks
better.
good. Everybody played tonight, performed tonight. Looks good.
Yes, I agree.
Right, Nick, you look good.
Thank you,
You
brother.
look fine. You got a hot Asian girlfriend. You're all good.
She's on her way over here to say hi to everybody.
All right.
Oh, I'd love to say hi to
All
her.
good.
That sounded bad. Sorry.
Sound good.
I respect Nick's girlfriend.
I got a
for the
special
record.
Asian balloon for her.
All respect. Respect.
As I drop everything. Okay.
I don't know why.
We just gotta get it out before she gets here.
Brad's
I
lost
do
it. This
have.
is going off the
You're
rails.
gonna grab the skull right and just
Alright.
bash everybody's brains in.
Look, man.
That's why I
feel
took the
good.
skull.
I'm not gonna bash anybody's brains. I'm not a serial killer.
Are
I
you-
can tell you more serial killer stories though if you really want to know. That's next show. This is our last October show, right?
Nah, the
Dude,
last
wrap it
Wednesday
up,
show.
Man. We've been trying for 5 minutes.
Fuck
man.
you, man.
The
I've been
Wednesday
trying
show
for
is
2
our
hours
last
to wrap it
October
up.
show.
Good night.
Fuck you all. Good night.
There you
Good
go.
night. Hey, that was an awesome set from Tim Grogan's.
Thank you.
And
I appreciate that. Yeah,
I
man.
mean, dude, this is a good time. We're glad that you're here,
Oh,
dude.
Thanks for having me.
How long have you been like in music, man?
All my life, that's been that's what I've done since I was a kid, and I started playing professionally like at about 17. You know.
Okay.
That was back when 18 was the legal age, so I could get into bars for a couple months there, you know.
Okay.
And then I turned 18, and everything was cool. But yeah, so I started playing music, like when I was 18, basically professional-wise, but I've always just done it. So.
You've always done it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
How many different instruments do you play?
Really just drums and keys.
Okay.
Yeah, I can sing a little bit, whatever. I write songs and kind of do some more normal stuff, different from like the weird set I did tonight, which I wanted to be horror inspired, you know. And
yeah,
that's a killer set.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. You know, kind of a John Carpenter kind of thing, and you know, just like hinting at some stuff, but jamming it out as just an improvisation. But yeah, so drums and keys though.
Top 5 scary movies of all time.
Oh wow. You know,
What are they?
Reanimator is a really weird and cool film.
Okay.
I was just thinking about that. I don't know that it is.
That might not be Bruce Campbell.
I don't think that it is.
Okay.
But all of the Evil Dead stuff is fantastic, obviously. But yeah, I can't remember who is in that. He might be. He might be in that.
No, it's just something else that's close to that.
It's just weird. That's Lovecraft, I think, right? H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah,
Dude, but what a weird imagination and awesome, just.
Yeah, H.P. Lovecraft stuff is absolutely out there.
It's
The whole he has one with Cthulhu, doesn't he? Right? Yeah. He's got some wild ones.
Yeah.
I like I like the Rob Zombie movies.
Yeah.
Those are always
those
great.
are good.
Right?
Yeah.
House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yeah.
Devil's Rejects. That one's great.
Yeah.
His
there's
Halloween movies.
Oh man, I was kind of going through a list of stuff of films that I hadn't seen that are super classic, and I was like, wow, how have I missed that? For so long. So anyway, it's like. There's a bunch I've never seen, of course, but
Really?
but I mean classic ones that people are like, really? How did you miss that?
The Thing.
Where were you?
Right?
The Thing.
Yeah, The Thing.
Kurt Russell?
Oh yeah. That's all you gotta really see.
Yeah,
The scary movies to me. Things all time favorites.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Hellraiser?
I don't think I've seen. Well, wait a minute. Have I? I
Pinhead.
don't know.
Pinhead.
I don't remember if I did.
You don't remember Pinhead?
No.
Pinhead.
Oh shit.
What Jeepers Creepers? That one.
Man, if they could just if you ever want to redo a movie and actually put some money into it, it's a really good fucking idea.
Mm-hmm.
They made 2 or 3 since the original. They just fucking I don't know, fit 10 grand on the motherfucker. It seemed like
Right.
Very low budget.
Right.
That's right.
I got to do a full length soundtrack it was a horror film, and it was made in connection with a university, and it's all kids starring in it or whatever, and their entire budget for everything was $20,000.
Wow.
So you can imagine. But the filmmaker that called me for it is really, really great, actually, and he's local here.
Very
But
cool.
they shot it in Virginia or whatever. So it was my first chance to kind of use synths and do kind of my thing, but with a horror soundtrack. So that was a super learning experience. I didn't really know what I was doing, but it was really fun to dive in and just go, what would I do here in this scene?
Yeah. So what was that like? Did you just get the script and the screenplay and everything, or did you see the movie before it came out?
No, yeah, I did get a script, and then I got rough cuts, and then I finally got kind of what they thought was going to be the finished cut, and even the dialogue and everything. The levels aren't just exactly finished up yet, right? But it was cool. I needed that, of course, to whatever I'm writing and throwing in over the film. I didn't want to step on the dialogue. You got to be careful of how to pace that, but still make it interesting. So yeah, it was just I kind of had a final cut, I guess it was, but it wasn't the absolute final cut. And then I had no idea how to go about it, so I chopped it up into pieces, which kind of made sense to me. And then I would just work in those little scenes, even though they weren't necessarily the film scenes and how they would lay,
Yeah, because somebody else is still going to come through and edit it.
Yeah, I would come in and go through and go from here to here is probably a good way to go, and I can write music from here to here, and then I would do that and then pick it up from there and go on.
Okay.
But because I just never done it before, and it was really, really fun, and I don't know how many hours I probably spent.
For free.
Well, no, I got paid.
Really?
I got paid out of $20,000, and my thing's one of the last things to happen, right? The score in a film is one of the last things in the budget, so.
Yeah.
You can run with that and figure it out. But it was still fun. I wanted to do it, and I was just stoked to have the opportunity.
Exactly.
Right.
And I
just
could still
a notch of hey, I have done a whole score for a movie.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just that alone right there, you never know what kind of door that might open up.
Exactly.
True.
You gotta get in there somehow.
Exactly, and it's not like I had any clout to go in and say, "Hey, I've done 10 movies already."
Exactly.
What I'm doing. I'm going and saying,
I'm a professional, but I'll help you guys
but
out.
But you do got
tight
one,
budget. Tight budget.
But I've done 0, so they were taking a chance on me too, and it was just a blast. Anyway, that kind of cycles.
Well, how
back
did they
around.
even discover you? Did you was a
Well,
friend of a
I knew
friend?
the filmmaker.
That
Yeah.
helps
One
too.
of them. One of them, with the director of photography. But he's also a filmmaker, and like I said, he has a local company, Best Part Productions. They're shout out, and they're local, and but yeah, I've known him for a while, and I just called him up and said, hey man, like I want to learn how to do this. I think I might be good at it, but I have no idea, you know. A film anywhere that I could like do maybe, you know, floating around somewhere. And he called me back in like 15 minutes and said, I've got one that's a full-length film for you. It's made with kids. It's made in conjunction with the university that's basically, you know, for their film department.
Yeah.
But you'd be a great fit. This would give you a chance to do it and whatever. So like, you know, it was just funny because 15 minutes later I'm like going, yeah, okay, great. I'm going to score a horror film, you know.
How long was the movie?
Hour 20.
Oh wow, nice. That's
So how
pretty
much
good.
actual
you know.
how much actual playtime will we hear of you inside that one time?
Wow, in that, there's a lot, so in a horror film, there's a whole lot of music.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they really want a lot of things happening.
It helps build up, and you can jump scares.
Jump
can
scares,
come from music.
all the stuff, and then you know drive the drama parts of it as well. You know, when it's not the stabbing or whatever, because this was a really great slasher kind of style thing.
Oh, nice.
And so
You did a lot of synth, right? Is that
yeah,
what you
I
said?
did. I did, you know, and I used a whole lot of synth stuff. And really, it was right around the time that I started doing more like what I just played. And just buying some synths and having some fun doing that, because I am a drummer. That's what I do. But I've always played keys on the side or whatever, like as a second instrument. And so the synthesizer thing is just really came up, you know, guess what? Pandemic, right? Who didn't
A lot of
try
free time.
Who didn't try to
try
like,
some new stuff?
I can only
do some
masturbate
new
so many
things.
times. I've had to do something else.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, because of that, I kind of started acquiring, you know, some synths, and I'm like, well, I'm stuck at home. I'm going to kind of do some things. And that was right around the same time as that horror film. So yeah, I used a bunch of new gear that I had. It was really exciting, and the whole thing was.
So
but yeah.
how recent is this?
It's been a while. So I mean, you know, around 2020. I think I did the film in 2019, and I think I finished it in 2020. I think that's the way it's sort of wrapped around, but. Yeah, it was a lot of hours for me because, well, I didn't know what I was doing really. I didn't have a working method, you know, and I'm just like going, well, what if I do it like this? I don't know. I probably chose the slowest way to do it. I have no idea, but it got done. You know?
Well,
What's the name of the movie?
It's called Getaway.
Getaway.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Is it like on Amazon or?
Yeah, it is. It's on Amazon. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Go buy that movie.
Yeah,
Getaway.
go check out Getaway.
So for 20,000 grand, is it 20,000 grand? 20,000. Is it is it actually pretty cool? Or
I think it's great.
Really?
I think they did amazingly well with you know, of that sort of a limitation on the budget. Man, they really did good. I mean, and so a lot of people worked for cheap, and I think they found good people. And
it was a project almost like a school project to an extent.
It was basically, you know, the university was basically just behind them for the film department, so they could instruct them, but also there was enough of a budget that they could bring in some outside people, which obviously would help the kids learn too, you know.
Wow.
Photography and script writing and whatever else, and in my case, you know, the soundtrack. So.
And if it turned a profit, that goes back to the school.
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, technically, I guess they would own it.
Yep.
They're the producers.
Yeah.
The producers of it. That's true.
So I got some gas money out of it, and you know, and the experience. It was really fun, though.
Looking nice.
Man,
Other than that, what would be a different method of just sitting around by yourself and fucking coming up with 15 seconds of something scary as shit, and then try to sell that? Is that? I mean, would that be an option?
I mean, you could have a bunch
Find
of
the right people.
Yeah, you could do a bunch of sketches, basically. You know,
just scary ass
little
sounds.
ideas,
samples,
and then,
if you will.
And then if you can remember enough of what the sketches were, I guess. Then you can kind of see something and go, oh, I know that's number 17 or something, you know. But otherwise, you know, you're going to do it for the, you know.
I know exactly what you mean. I play guitar and piano, or not piano, keyboard, which, if you will not, but there's probably a million things I wouldn't even remember how I ever fucking did it, even if I laid it down.
Right.
So I don't remember what the fuck I was doing.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I just start diddling on it, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, easy. Like, I have a folder full of just, like, idea things, you know, and 4 months later I can come back to that and go, wow,
what
that's...
the fuck was I thinking?
Yeah, well, there's both. There's both. There's definitely that, too. Like, that really sucks. I don't know why I put that in the folder, but then you can find stuff that's like, oh, well, actually, that's kind of cool. Like, I should, pursue that idea. I should go back and relook at that. But, yeah, because it's fun to do, but, like, I don't remember those things. Sometimes I'll just remember a feeling about them or something.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I think that one was cool. But I won't really exactly remember the mechanics of
Well,
what
plus
it
you're
is.
also going to be layering over things, I would
Right.
assume.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
with a keyboard, you can have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 note, and then you just go to a different setting and do the exact same thing.
I mean-
you just kind of overlay it, and it brings it all out.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, there are different approaches for sure.
Y'all ever seen Hustle and Flow?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't just sit around and just actually make beats for these rappers. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
just sell out, just completely sell out, and just
Yeah,
make
a
beats
lot of
for
people
rappers.
do it.
Because it's so easy that they can do it themselves.
I think I think it's one of those things that's sort of that's a myth.
That is a
though,
great.
because
That's
like
a great movie, though. I love that movie.
yeah.
The
I think
Terrence
all that
Howard
stuff
or
that
whatever,
looks really
right?
easy. I think it's a little harder than it seems. Like because anybody can sit there and do that, and sometimes you can get a legitimate like result
Yeah.
from just kind of doing it easy like that, right?
Yeah.
But I think usually to find something that's really special and makes people go, damn, then there's got to be a little bit of
There's some
magic.
talent.
added.
Yeah, there is talent.
But you could sit around and build beats, man. Hell
Yeah.
yeah. You make beats all day long.
Beats.
So yeah.
So you originally, where are you from?
From Dallas,
Oh.
and that's where I started my career and all of that. I moved to LA after that to keep pursuing music. I lived there for about 9 years.
Survivor.
And
Yeah, it ain't tough to be an implant in California.
Oh no, it was pretty funny being from Texas, and people would definitely be jabbing at me, Californians,
Well.
But it was funny. It was cool. I was fine with that. Whatever. It's like, okay, I'll be your little amusement toy, I guess.
Yeah.
Whatever. Boy from Texas, but yeah. So I got lucky. I got on a couple of good gigs out there, a couple national things, and it was country music was really hitting when I went out there, and that's not my thing.
Something's got to pay the bills.
It has become my thing,
Something's
which is
gotta
really
pay the
weird.
bills.
Something's got to pay the bills, and it's still, but I'm still playing music, right? So
Yeah.
like it's
Right,
cool.
of course.
And country has gone through so many different changes anyway.
Dude, it's almost like 90s grunge now is what
new
fucking
stuff,
country sounded
yeah.
like.
Yeah,
Well, that sounds like
a lot
90s
of the
guitar
new
riffs,
stuff
because
sounds
I
like
know
that.
90s guitar riffs.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, Los Angeles for a while, and then I moved here.
Nice.
Yeah. So I've been here since '96. So I've been here a while.
Oh, you're long enough now. The blood's changed.
Yeah.
There's no more cold-bloodedness or hot-bloodedness from wherever you're from. You've,
Right.
you've adapted to
Oh.
the local nature.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, Texas really isn't that different from here.
That's
Dallas.
true.
One question about Texas. Is there fucking huge-ass tarantulas running around everywhere?
There used to be when I was a kid.
Oh,
yes.
fuck that.
Yes.
Oh.
I mean, not anymore, but like I grew up in Dallas, but like my grandmother lived in McKinney, which is just a little bit north.
Wow,
of
I
there.
couldn't imagine. I'd be walking
And
around
in
with a
her-
shotgun.
Yeah, in her front yard, man, were just all these tarantula holes. I mean, they were just in the yard. And you'd be walking down her sidewalk to go up to her door, and one would pop out and be like scurrying around. Here's one over here. And it was pretty weird, dude.
Fuck that.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not that way anymore.
So
just
what happened?
because-
Was there a mass tarantula genocide that we didn't know about?
Yeah, did that happen in Texas?
Yeah, it's just people, it's just, moving in, and all of those places that were farmland and all that stuff that was north of Dallas, it's all just one big city now, So, of course,
The tarantulas are gathering
tarantulas
underneath,
had to go.
underneath the city.
They went the
Interesting.
way of
Yeah,
the armadillo, I think.
They like live under
Well, I hope
there.
they're not
Plotting.
heading this
They're
direction.
plotting everyone's end or
Like the
something.
armadillos did.
I got
yeah.
certain nightmares, and I take damn near any snake over a fucking huge spider.
Yeah.
Fucking,
I'm with you. That's too many legs, and that's just too weird.
It is a lot of
Spiders do
legs.
creep me out for sure.
good God.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, thanks for having me on the show.
Dude.
and,
Yeah.
Thank you
and,
for
it's
coming
cool
and
sitting
hanging
around and
out.
shooting the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks so much. I appreciate that. Yeah.
We are about to have
This guy has a great
That's
set.
true. All right. Well, fuck you all. Good night.
Look at you.
Contradiction. Fuck around, and you test me.